Hello everyone and welcome to the premiere night stream for The Witcher 3 Next Gen Update. I'm super excited for this one. My name is Paweł Burza and I am joined by Alicia Kozera.
Hey guys!
And Amelia Kowat.
Hello everyone!
And we will be your hosts for tonight, and we will have a lot of awesome guests tonight with us from the studio to celebrate this momentous time for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And most importantly, a lot of streamers and content creators are already playing the game. So if you are, remember to tag us on Twitter at WitcherGame. And there, we will retweet you so everyone can enjoy the game before launch, because we're just a couple of hours away. So I can't wait, but yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, so like Paweł mentioned, we are only a few hours away from the release of the Next Gen update. So here are a few reminders. First of all, the game, the patch releases at 1 a.m. CET for PC, and Xbox Series S and X, December 14th. So
very soon,
like in a few hours.
3.5 hours.
And PlayStation 5 is, well, in some regions it's already live, but it comes at midnight at your local time. So yeah, looking at you, Australia, Korea, Japan, you guys already playing the game, and I'm so excited for you already. And if you wanna, know everything about what we prepared for you in this update, check out the patch notes that we released yesterday at witcher.com.
Yes. So we're gonna have a few guests here with us, awesome Reds with awesome interviews and some cool stuff prepared, some surprises for both you and them. But at the same time, we cooperated with Dandelion to prepare an amazing concert together with some content creators. So we're gonna have some nice tunes from around the continent, from all around the world. So I hope you enjoy that. And our first one, we're gonna start with a bang. This is a rendition of the Wolven Storm in Polish by a nice singer that some of our Polish community might know. So let's give it out to Sanah.
World premiere.
Otwórz te rany, a potem zalecz, aż w zawiły losu ułożą się wzór z moich snów. Uciekasz nad ranem, cierpka jak agrest, słodka jak bez. Chcę śnić, czarne loki splątane, fiołkowe oczy mokre od łez. Za wilczym śladem podążę w zamieć i twoje serce wytropię uparte przez gniew i smutek, stwardniałe w kamień. Rozpalę usta smagane wiatrem z moich snów. Uciekasz nad ranem, cierpka jak agrest, słodka jak bez. Chcę śnić, czarne loki splątane, fiołkowe oczy mokre od łez. Nie wiem, czy jesteś moim przeznaczeniem, czy przez ślepy traf miłość nas związała. Kiedy wyrzekłem moje życzenie, czyś mnie wbrew sobie wtedy pokochała. Z moich snów uciekasz nad ranem, cierpka jak agrest, słodka jak bez. Chcę
welcome to our release night stream today. I have Sebastian Kalemba, our game director for Polaris. How are you?
Thanks for having me and welcome everybody.
I hope you're excited, just like we are in here.
I am, I haven't slept last night, to be honest. I'm like just reading and watching everything that's possible. Right.
Well, we are so happy to have you here with us, and I hope you're ready for a couple of questions that we prepared for you.
I hope I am. Yeah.
We have some surprises as well for you.
Okay.
So, let's jump to the first question. Here in CDPR, you started as lead animator. So, during the Witcher 3 development, is there something that you remembered the most about that period of the time?
Oh, that's a good question. But actually, the brightest memory is always the one that it is the first one that hits you. And it's maybe not the best and the most excited, but I remember, my second or third day of working here. It was like, hey, Seb, how's it going? Here you have Red Engine, and here's a Geralt, right? Yeah, I'm playing with him. It's great, yeah. Okay, so you have to redo all the locomotion sets. I'm like, what? It's working, yeah, but we have to redo it to make him feel more witchery. I was like, oh my god, and I was really scared at that time, because like locomotion sets for the protagonist is always very challenging because this is the most playable animation in the entire game. And there wasn't much time, to be honest. So yeah, but I did it. I did my best within the time frame.
I guess I can speak for myself and hopefully for everyone on the other side of the screen. The Geralt is actually like pretty cool with all the the sword moves and everything with the cast signs. You guys did a really good job with that.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, again, we did our best. There was a bunch of people that was actually working on that. I was mostly focusing on let's say the walk cycle, the run cycle, the sprint with the sword, and all that. But yeah, I remember that it was like 40 iterations to finally get an approval from Ada Bodowski at that time. Yeah.
That could be challenging, that's for sure. I mean, seeing Geralt looking like, running with the sword.
Yeah, because actually you have 1 second, right? Or let's say if you do a few cycles, right? So your eyes get super tired very quickly and you have to refresh your eyes. There are some methods that animators are using to be able to refresh the eye. You are, let's say, mirroring the screen. You are, asking for the feedback for your friend next to you. You go for a walk, you get back, you squint your eyes. And many funny tricks to refresh eyes, especially when the animation is super short and very repeatable. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you probably have a lot of good, bad memories with the game development.
It's a journey, right? So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But is there like something very specific that you told yourself, oh, I'm never gonna forget that moment from Witcher 3 development, or maybe during the motion capture sessions that I guess you were directing, right?
Yeah. There were many sessions that I was directing to, and there was so many cool memories. Like, okay, so starting from the locomotion that I started from, right? I finally did all these sets, and finally one of the QAs came. I mean, the QA lead then. He jumped into our room and was like, "Hey, everything is cool, but why he's walking as like doing some Nordic walking, right? Geralt shouldn't do that." And it was really funny. And I'm like, "Yeah, I was doing it." And actually, that was the only one that was left because people like it. But actually, when you are trying to create a style that is coherent, that one, I had to redo it also because it simply didn't match the style. So yeah, then we make him walk really like a badass. So when you really, press the button a bit slowly, then he walks pretty like a badass in the village, the baddest man in the planet. You know what I mean? Yeah, but there are some other stories. Like for example, we try to mock up a dog with a human, so that was fun, but it didn't look good. Of course, we knew that it's not gonna be looking great, But actually, the funny thing is that chunks of this piece of this mock-up we used here and there, for example, to, let's say, make the fledger jump or something like that. Some Easter egg that nobody knows, but we kinda used some of this footage because it kinda looked creepy, and we're like, oh yeah, let's use this particular asset in that creature because why not, right? So yeah.
What about sessions with Roach? Did you actually train with?
I was playing Roach. No, I'm joking. No, we didn't have actually. Of course, there's this blooper video, right? That we had. We mock up it and we bug it and stuff. It's fun, but no. Roach was fully keyframed. A bit buggy, but it's Roach, so
everyone
yeah,
forgets that.
exactly. And yeah, it was fully keyframed, but yeah, we're planning to definitely in the next game, in the next installment, push that. But so stay tuned.
Yeah, Roach 2.0.
Oh yeah, you can call it. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we are 7 years after the Witcher 3 release. There was plenty of updates and visual enhancement and whatnot. How does it make you feel to see the love that the game is still getting after all these years, and even now with the next gen update patch?
Yeah, I'm super proud, right? And just it's just amazing to be part of this journey, and that it's 7 years, as I said, after the launch, is still playable, and people are still enjoying it all around the world. This is crazy, and I think everyone in the studio is really happy and very grateful to be part of it. And yeah, and for me personally, it's some kind of a bar that we know where the expectations. So yeah, we have to jump over it.
Yeah, and we have to push the energy
Yep.
to our new
Exactly.
Witcher game.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
We speak about love from the community, but what about you? What do you love about Witcher or Geralt or any other character?
Oh my God, that's a complex question. I'm a canon freak, generally, So I love Andrzej Sapkowski's stuff, and I love what we do here because it's so much grounded and so much, with so much respect to the lore. And then I really, absolutely huge fan of generally the way how we make games here, that we treat this as a very serious experience. And because our characters are so immersive and so emotional, we know that the way we are kind of developing them, we make people kind of relate with those characters, and this is absolutely one of the strongest things in our games, and something that I absolutely adore, because that makes me feel that we're doing something more than just entertainment. We want to change people's lives.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely did.
And,
I guess everyone in this room,
Yeah.
we have quite a lot of people here.
Yeah,
That we all can say that The Witcher changed our lives for much better.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are here to celebrate the next gen update patch.
Yeah.
Is there something very specific that you look forward to?
Oh, there are plenty of things, but the one really particular one is actually the camera change, because this change make you experience this game really differently. It's a different lens. So I believe that because of that change, you can really experience combat better. There's different, even emotional impact sometimes when you blend from gameplay to the scenes and stuff. So this lens actually changed the experience a bit. So yeah, it's more grounded, it's closer to character, you're closer to Geralt, so you can really immerse yourself even more with the game. So I'm really happy with that one. And of course, visuals, right? As the image itself is beautiful, just check what's going on with the photo mode. Every screenshot is a painting, honestly. And I love it. Yeah, you can spend hours in photo mode.
Oh
right?
yeah, we're gonna have photo mode contest, that's for sure. So there will be plenty of those nice sceneries
That's awesome.
captured. So
Yeah.
my favorite camera is the Geralt Roach one. For me, that was like the best. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna play. So thank you very much for including that.
Glad you enjoy it. Glad you enjoy it.
We actually have some surprise questions.
All right.
We asked our community on Witcher Discord
Okay.
for a few questions, so they will be a bit funny. And we have first question from Essa. How does Regis style his hair if vampires don't have a reflection?
Whoa! Oh my god. This is something that I have to talk to rendering programmers, you know? Like, that's the tricky one. You killed me with this one. Honestly, I'm very surprised.
I think they do it in pairs. So, one is like more to the left, more to the right.
Especially when you spend 100 years in the, in the coffin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morning hair. Okay, so we have no second question from Skeleton with a Glock. How quickly could Geralt eat a Subway footlong?
It depends, how hard he is to kill a monster. I don't know.
He probably doesn't eat for a long time, so,
Yeah, but, I can imagine that he had some pierogi, on the path. So,
or chicken sandwich.
Yeah, or chicken sandwich. But Geralt, is a guy who eats a lot in general, so I think he can have one.
You can have a quick one.
Yes.
Okay, and the final one from me, Triss or Yennefer?
Yennefer.
All right, guys. So we are done today with Sebastian. Thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you
us
again.
again and for being our guest.
Thanks a lot for having me.
And since it's a concert night as well, we have an amazing song from Malukah, The Fields of our Skellig.
Stryk mig alltid och några sarta gå hatande du
Thank you for watching.
Hello guys, welcome. I'm Alicja and now with me I have Martin Blacha, our story director.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Together I have something special for Martin. We're gonna discuss some wild theories about the Witcher world in general. I don't know if you know about the icebergs. So basically, these are the charts that have some wild theories. The top tiers, basically, which are in the iceberg above the water, are the ones that are most well known, so you probably heard of some of them. And then the deeper we go, the weirder it gets. So I thought that Martin, you will be a perfect person to talk about these theories, since you are like story expert on The Witcher and all Witcher things. So let's dive in, right?
I like all conspiracy theories very much, so let's go.
Okay, perfect. So first ones are pretty simple. On the tier 1, so the one that people most likely know about, there are many roaches.
Yes, there are many roaches because, in fact, Geralt always needs someone to guide him, and when there is no sorceress, next to him, he needs someone. So it's a roach, and Geralt is a very active person, so they have to change. And, because Geralt is usually clueless, so they guide him to the point. They have this special hat that, helps them to lock on the road. So they have to, change when they are tired. And they have this augmented reality. So that's the reason why don't always they see the obstacles, and it's too much for one horse. So yes, there are many roaches.
Okay, cool. And so he changes them pretty often, from what you
No, Geralt doesn't know about it, so they just change.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Behind the house, go. And the next one goes, from this.
Okay, so Geralt doesn't notice that they change.
Yeah.
Okay, this I didn't expect, to be honest. Thank you. Okay, so the next one, this is actually pretty deep one that actually comes from the books, The Last Wish. So we know we had the Djinn encounter with Yennefer and Geralt, and Geralt had 3 wishes for the Djinn, and we never heard about what the third one was, right? So we tackled this topic in The Witcher 3, in the Last Wish quest, where we could reconnect with Yennefer, tell her we love her, or like tell her no, it's not it. So do we know what the last wish was, or like what were we working with?
No, and I think it's intentional, it was intention of the author and later our intention when we were designing this quest. So the reader or the player doesn't know what's the wish because it's something, he can imagine, and everybody can put her or his wish and, imagine what would Geralt wish for in this situation.
But do you have like a theory of your own, what that wish would be?
My theory was I wish a perfect ending.
Oh, interesting. So connected to the same one is actually another theory on this tier that says that with this third wish, a lot of people say that Geralt bound his destiny with Yennefer, but on the other hand, people are saying that with this wish he somehow bound his destiny with Dandelion. So everywhere in The Witcher 3 also, like Geralt meets Dandelion all the time, like the first game, the second game, the third game, like in the random in Novigrad or something like that. Do you think there is something to it?
So I want to say that Yennefer and Dandelion are like roaches. So, but that's not the case. No, I don't think that Geralt is bound with Dandelion. I think he is bound with Yennefer or with Triss if the player wants to. But Geralt and Dandelion are just friends, and friendship is as strong bond as destiny. So that's enough.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, sure. So that were the theories from the first tier, and now we can actually go to the second tier, which is one of my favorite theories actually, is that Dandelion invented Gwent.
I think that Dandelion might be a honorary dwarf, and it's clearly stated that Gwent was invented by dwarves, but Dandelion has so many dwarven friends, and he is actually kinda like a dwarf, but not really. But yes, it is possible because all these friends he has.
I mean, the theory actually states that, Dandelion is kind of the narrator of The Witcher 3. So he's retelling the story. And he is actually the one that put so much Gwent into retelling the story, so it wasn't there originally. It's his marketing approach to sell more of the game.
No, maybe he's just a player, and when he has to tell a story, all he thinks about is playing Gwent. And when I was playing The Witcher 3, I was also thinking about playing Gwent, so I perfectly understand Dandelion. So yeah, I mean, that's possible that maybe it's a tale in a tavern and they are playing actually Gwent, and Dandelion is telling his story.
This actually makes sense, retelling the story during a round of Gwent, actually.
Exactly.
Okay, next thing is actually something that I don't know. 1358. So the vampire that we meet in Novigrad, he asks you, "Is it 1358 yet?" And when Geralt tells him no, then he says, "Fuck off." So what's the meaning of 1358? I have some theories that people say it might be a conjunction of the spheres coming in 1358.
To be honest, I don't know. The only thing I know is what's the meaning of fuck off.
Okay, so unfortunately we won't solve this mystery here.
No.
Thank you. So let's move on to another one. Another one is actually about Toussaint and Mount Gorgon peak in Toussaint. So basically, Toussaint has very Italian architecture. It has some volcanic ashes, so the vines grow really well there. So Toussaint is known for wines. And the theory is that Mount Gorgon is actually a sleeping volcano that sooner or later is gonna erupt, and Toussaint is gonna end up like Pompeii, basically.
I don't know. I think it's possible, and actually it's a good idea, and I noted it down. So maybe at some point we will come back to this idea.
Okay,
Thank you.
So if Toussaint is gonna get destroyed, I'm so sorry, guys.
And I'm very sorry for Geralt because it's his retirement.
Yeah. But maybe he will decide that he wants to do something else.
Maybe.
Yes. So now we are diving into the further tier 3. And another theory about Toussaint is basically that Toussaint is controlled by vampires. So in Blood and Wine, we already meet a lot of vampires in Toussaint. It is also said that this is the place where, during conjunction of the spheres, they came to the continent. And, Blood and Wine, that also says a lot. What do you think about this theory?
I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so is that Toussaint is such a vivid and full of life. Is a place such a vivid and full of life that I don't really think that it may be controlled by some ancient living underground creatures. And it's so much better to imagine that it's controlled by Anna Henrietta. So no, I don't like this idea.
Okay, sorry. But if they like, for example, the taste of blood with wine, that would be a good place for them to stop by.
But also so cliché. And I think it's better when we have all those errant knights and Anna Henrietta and all those marvelous vistas, and vampires are just addition to it.
Okay. So it's just a coincidence that there's so many vampires in Toussaint.
Yeah, I mean, probably, vampires are old and maybe they also need a place to retire, like Geralt. Oh, yeah. Geralt is also old, so maybe it's just a perfect place. It's like Florida in the United States.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. So another theory from this tier is that the world is on the verge of scientific revolution. We actually see a lot of cool inventions in The Witcher 3. Also, their medicine is pretty advanced, but the thing that might be blocking it is the use of magic. So, like, if there is an invention to do something, the sorcerers are like, no, we can do that with magic. What do you think about this one?
As far as I remember, there are some descriptions in the book that also suggest it, because, for example, we have a description of perpetuum mobile, this, machine that is running on itself without any fuel. And we have printed books. We don't have gunpowder, but we have, many other things.
But we have fireworks, for example.
Yeah, we have fireworks, and we have many different materials that things are made of. But I don't think it's a scientific revolution. I think it's more like a will of the author, that is Andrzej Sapkowski, because sometimes he wants to introduce something like genetics, and sometimes he wants to stick to these medieval tropes. So it's not like our reality with progress or with Renaissance or whatever. It just whatever fits.
Okay, yeah. Because it's really difficult to say, okay, it's Dark Ages, from our world. Not really. They're different things from different periods.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go one tier further, tier 4 now.
Are we deep?
Yeah, there are 5 in total. So we're almost there, but really interesting things are still ahead of us. So first thing is about Cockatrice Inn from Toussaint. It's said that it is run by vampires. So when Geralt comes there, the mysterious woman appears. He asks his companions who she is, and they say she's the innkeeper's daughter, and she turns out to be a Bruxellator. And also on the bulletin board near the inn, we have a letter from the daughter of the innkeeper, which on the outside seems like she's really nice because she cares about the safety of travelers, but she actually wants as many people in the inn as possible. So if they are vampires, they have the travelers to prey upon. Is there some truth to that?
It may be some truth, but please also keep in mind that Toussaint is also about, courting and, about mysterious ladies that appear and vanish and mysterious letters and, all the mysteries. So it is also possible that it's not about vampires, but it's about, mystery.
Okay, yeah, sure, makes sense. So the next one is pretty wide, let's say. It basically says that witchers are monsters, and so basically they have been created to fight fire with fire. What do you think about that?
They kinda are, but on the other hand, all the witchers we know, that is Geralt, Vesemir, even Lambert, who is not a monster, they are very kind, and they help to raise Ciri, and they are very human inside. So I think they were created to be monsters and fight monsters, but something went wrong. And Geralt is the best example of this case, because he is supposed to have no feelings and to fight monsters, but we know how it ended.
Yeah, it didn't really work
Yeah.
in the end. Okay, cool. So now we're into the deepest tier. I have 3 theories here. So first one is pretty complicated. So basically, it's about the Whispering Hillock and the crones. So the theory is that the Whispering Hillock, the Lady of the Wood, is the crone's mother, and I think this is even somehow confirmed in one of the books that we find in the game, right?
It is, and I wrote this book.
Okay.
And I can confirm that she's her mother.
Okay, awesome. So then we go further. And the further theory says that the Lady of the Wood, the Whispering Hillock, is actually Freya. So this is a goddess that came from Skellig. She is actually being prayed to by Skellige people as we serve her who is Virgin Mother and Crown. And also in Old Norse, Freya means lady. So is there some truth to this theory or a stretch?
A grain of truth, but I would say that both Freya and that Mother of the Crowns, they are more like an aspect of one goddess, that is this goddess Mother, and this goddess is worshipped in many places under different names. So she is kind of Freya, but I would rather say that Freya and this lady are aspects of one goddess.
Okay, interesting. Cool, thank you. So 2 more. I don't know, do you want me to leave the weirdest one for the end or no? Okay. So the other one is cats are monsters. So both in the books and in the games, we can see that cats don't really like Geralt. This is like subconscious that they react to him with some fear or something like that. Like cats are, I guess, known for being magical creatures, but are they monsters?
So I want to say that my personal overlord forbid me to tell about this subject, and I won't tell a thing. Sorry.
Okay. I fully understand that. I have one too. Okay, so the last theory, this is like very wild, so I'm just gonna mention it. Shrek is also a witcher.
I have to think about it.
Yeah, so think about it. Shrek is an outcast, just like Geralt. He takes on the quest to get rid of some fairy tale creatures, and he's gonna get paid by Lord Farquaad. He has like his best friend, the donkey. Dandelion is on Geralt's side, so there are some connections.
That would mean that Fiona is maybe Yennefer.
Yes. There's also like magical connection between them, the spell.
Dragon.
Yes.
So previously I said that Dandelion may be honorary dwarf, so maybe I would say that Shrek may be a honorary witcher.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Thank you. Okay, so this is all of the theories. I missed a little bit, but I think we went really deep into some of them. So thank you for confirming some, not confirming others. So I think one last question before we finish, and I'm sorry, but I have to ask this: Team Yen or Team Tris?
Always Team Yennefer.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to go to another song, which is Eileen, and this will be another rendition of the Wolven Storm, this time in Ukrainian.
Між ранів проклади перстом своїм дорогу, щоб всупереч зіркам сплелись наші шляхи, відкриті рани і вилікуй по тому, зіткати візерунок долі, що змогли, і снів моїх біжиш ти зранку. Твій солодкий запах агрусу й буску. Хочу в снах я бачити твій локон чорний, фіалки у очах, з яких зітру сльозу. Посліду вовка піду у заметілі, і серце вперте я наздожену крізь гнів і сум, що в ньому скам'яніли, відкриті всі вітрам вуста я розпалю, і снів моїх біжиш ти зранку гордо, твій солодкий запах агрусу й буску. бачити твій локон, чорний фіалки в очах, з яких зітру сльозу. Не знаю, чи ти призначення дорога, чи лиш на пристрасть злетілись ми сліпу, якби відрікся від бажання свого, чи покохала ти мене собі на біду, і снів моїх біжиш ти зранку гордо, твій солодкий запахав росу й буску. Хочу в снах я бачити твій локон, чорний фіалки в очах, з яких зітру сльозу.
Right, we are back with Tomek, Jesus Christ. Tomasz Herbrig, Technical QA Coordinator.
Yep, exactly.
How are you feeling, my friend?
Oh yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it's launch day. It's launch day.
Finally. That's why I'm so kind of hyped because of all the new stuff that we are going. But we will talk about it in a moment.
We'll talk about everything, my friend. I kind of feel like you've been part of CDPR for such a long time. How long have you been with the company?
Almost 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah,
I've
almost
been here
8
for
years.
7. You've been here for 8. That's crazy.
No, we actually started almost at the same day. So
That's actually true. That's actually true. That's maybe why I've always
perspective
thought that you're
dependent.
Yeah. So when it comes to The Witcher 3, the next gen update, I know that QA pretty much takes care of everything from replaying the game multiple times, checking for any bugs, inconsistencies, fixing them, making them better. So what was your role on this project?
Oh, that's kind of a tricky question because let me say it this way. For first, I want to really thank guy who we sent at the front as the first QA from our team. Actually, me and Szymon Bąk from my team, my lead, just decided that Piotrek Stardowski, go on, you'll be the first one. And he actually just managed all the pipelines and stuff, how we should test the game. So actually, I've jumped pretty, well, kind of later. As his soldier, so it was kind of role switch. So I was the tech QA soldier who was mostly focusing on new technologies.
New technologies. Okay, what are these new technologies? Are these the kind of new additional things that we added in this update?
Yes. About you, I cannot say, but I was mostly focusing on DLSS 3 and stuff like that.
Okay. So more on the visual.
Yes.
Okay, cool. When it comes to this update as a player, because I know you also love to play games. We're both like card game fans, which is also something that we connect on. But apart from that, what is kind of the thing that you're looking for in terms of replaying the game? It's been 7 years since The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt came out. So kind of what do you want to experience? What are you excited for?
Well, actually, while I was testing all the new features that we implemented in, I was mostly focusing on stuff that we are working on. So I was not focusing on the whole game. I was kind of losing the whole experience of playthroughs and stuff like that. But finally, I just want to jump in with the new RTX on PC. But actually, I would play on PS5, which also includes some parts of RT updates. So for me, it's the must-have. Finally, the native launcher for PS5. Finally, is good performance on PS5, high resolution, better textures. So, I'm a visual guy, sorry. And I'm focusing a lot of rendering, but I will adapt to it. And after like 1 hour or so, I will dive into the story once more.
I have to agree with you. I played the game recently when we're doing like a hands-on session for journalists here in the studio. And I played on PS5 and Xbox, also both dev kits. And I was really surprised on how well the game performed. That's one thing. And then with the addition of the photo mode and actually changing things to like the RTX settings on, with the ray tracing and actually seeing Geralt and seeing the textures, like the 4K textures on the models are just freaking incredible. So I'm also like a visual guy, but then I started going into like the quests. I did White Orchard because it's like, it's the beginning of the game. So it's kind of the thing that you see for the first time, you experience it for the first time. So I love that. I love going back in time because like I've also said, like from time to time, I play Hearts of Stone, Blood and Wine for the story only on like the vanilla version on PC. But now I want to go back and replay like the base story of the game.
Exactly. I cannot wait, to be honest, because right now I will have more time to experience it.
Yeah. I want to also break some misconceptions here because you work in QA and people always see QA kind of like, you guys just sit all day, you play the game multiple times, and you get paid for playing games. Like, it's not exactly that. Not everybody can do it. Like, so can you tell me more about it? Like, how does it look from your perspective?
You know how deep this topic is.
I know, that's why I wanted to start it.
Well, basically, of course, we also need players, testers who are playing game, like a regular player, because they will deliver us good information about the user experience and stuff like that, about like low-level bugs, so not digging deeper. But in our company, mostly, we have like, our QA is divided into sub-teams, let me say, embedded QA. So we can divide them in art QA, which is also dividing into, you know, characters, environment. Next to them will be gameplay QA, which are focusing on the most fun part of the game, which holds us
Hacking,
to play.
slashing.
Yeah, exactly. Next one, this is the one of the important. Well, actually, all of them are important.
Yeah, all of them kind of combined. All powers combined make the game work.
So yeah, the next one will be a narrative QA, which are pushing the whole quest side to up to the front, and my team will be, let me be the last in this queue. So yeah, tech QA, mostly focusing on implementing new and testing new stuff that will be, to be honest, released, not visible for players before everything else.
Yeah, that's quite the journey because you also go through like multiple iterations when it comes to what you get, you give your feedback, it goes back, it is then implemented, and you create like multiple builds before you get to the one where everything is pretty much the way you like it, right?
Imagine another thing, because working in QA requires you to have some skills that also would, let me say, programmer need to have, artists need to have. So while working like in an environment QA, you need to focus, of course, on the quality on the stuff, but also you need to remember about the performance, how you need to optimize it. You need to kind of walk through with the artist to make these assets look and behave as they should. So it's the best quest I ever had in this company.
Awesome. Does it kind of take away from enjoying and playing games, since you kind of do it all the time, you replay things, and do you ever feel like you come home, you're like, I don't feel like playing a game. It's like, I don't feel like, I've been doing this throughout the day. I've been reporting on bugs and some inconsistencies and other things and finding things that maybe are not working the way they should. Do you still like have enjoyment from just playing games and enjoying them?
Well, Pavel, I'm getting old and mostly switching to a tabletop gaming, but actually I play a lot, especially on consoles, and I'm, well, you know, if you are not playing anything, you are standing in a place. You are not learning new things, you are cannot share the experience with other companies. So this is the really important thing. Like, let me say about the new God of War. They've implemented a lot of new stuff that you can just enjoy for the first time. After that, you will just sit and, wow, how they did it. And after that, you will just enjoy all the other experience that you gave. So yeah, I play a lot. I play a lot from the AAAs. And, well, please don't talk about pile of shame.
I think we all have that pile of shame of games that we want to get to, but we never have the time to actually do it. So it's kind of like, maybe no, but I actually want to go back to this. Or maybe maybe I'll just play this. So what about our games? Since you work very in depth into them, do you still have the time just to come home after release and play the game and enjoy it?
Well, actually, yes, I really enjoy playing our games. Like I said previously, I'm in work at the office. I'm mostly focusing on the specific part of the games. So I'm like looking at the DLSS stuff, like on RTX, if it applies properly. I'm reading the different. Actually, I don't remember how long session have I played in our company, because most of the time I was looking at the performance reports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's also need to be covered just to keep the game working. So I just want to really experience the game as the same way as the players would experience it after the release. So I will play it. I played Cyberpunk. I can't wait for other stuff. I've played Witcher. I've played every expansion after it was released. So for me, it was my story, my experience, and no one can take it from me.
Yeah, you kind of make it your own, especially that, like you said, you kind of focus on different things, but when you come home, you have the time to actually enjoy the story and enjoy the game for yourselves. If you had to kind of choose, what drove you to The Witcher?
Well,
as a universe, as a world, as a everything.
That's a surprise, because I've read the books a lot, like 3 or 4 times whole whole saga. So that was the first thing, and actually I was quite interested in Witcher 1, which was kind of high end on my PC, and I cannot launch it properly, so loading times was taking like 30 or 40 minutes on my PC. But I've actually finished it with my old setup, and I thought, well, we need to optimize this when I was ready. And that's why I applied to a QA.
Oh, okay. When it comes to other titles, you already mentioned some of them. When you play it on your own time, you kind of said that you enjoy the story, but do you also nitpick? Do you try to look for things that you're maybe like, or maybe on the other end, you're kind of like, oh, I see what they did here. Like, how could we ever like implement something like this? Do you treat it like a learning process?
Yes, of course. For me, playing the new games, experiencing the new AAAs, and not only AAAs, because a lot of indie games have a lot of surprising things to be explored. Yeah. So I'm playing the game with a learning process, but it took about an hour or so at the beginning, and after that you are just experiencing the game, because you get used to the gameplay loops, you get used to the new graphics and stuff like that. So for a long time I was like, in the Red Dead Redemption, I was asking myself, wow, how they did it on PS4? It was a good question for me, and after time I've understood it, and I can just enjoy the whole title.
Yeah, it's really cool, because I feel like with every title that you play, I feel also the same for us, but when it comes for us, it's more on the communication side and kind of seeing how the games are made and what they're bringing to the table, what is new, what is exciting, what is groundbreaking, and stuff like that. It feels like it's a learning process, but since we're kind of part of the industry, we need to be constantly evolving, developing, and doing like groundbreaking stuff, which I feel is kind of something that we do kind of as homework, but it's just fun homework. Right?
Yeah, you don't feel it. If it's your homework, you don't feel it as a homework. So that's the best thing about the game and the industry, to be honest.
2 last questions. One, these are both weren't in the script, so I'm just going off the books here. Do we have, because I learned like in The Witcher 2 times, we used to have Luigi working in QA, and I remember he beat the game on Death March with a pickaxe. Do you know, are there any like crazy stories of QAs trying crazy stuff when it comes to trying to beat the game, I don't know, just by bare bone fist fighting in Witcher 3 or something like that?
Yeah, there was some kind of like that story, let me say. While we are developing the Hearts of Stone, there was a quite high level of difficulty while fighting with Caretaker.
Oh my god, I remember that fight.
It was totally Souls-like, and I remember everyone was struggling it, and only Łukasz Wnek, who is, you know the guy, he was designing this fight. He was totally great fan of Souls-like games, so that was the only guy who was able to finish this fight.
Okay. Mad kudos.
And because it was like one of my first experiences here, is the strongest one. So all the others just like mix together. But there was a lot of finishing whole game from the beginning to the very end, like speedrun without glitches and stuff like that in 4 hours to do 2 full playthroughs per day.
Wow.
So fun times.
That is crazy. Last question. I saw that everybody's asking this, so I have to ask you, although I'm not always a fan of this question. Yen or Triss?
Do I have to choose between only those 2?
Is that the answer?
Well, if I need to choose, it will be Triss.
Okay.
If not, it will
First
be
one
shiny.
oh, shiny. Okay. So redheads. I see. That's a common thing. Oh, okay. Perfect. Tomek, thank you for sitting down with me. I'm always excited to talk about QA because I feel like it needs to see a little bit more spotlight on it because you are really there on the ground doing a lot of hard work and going through multiple iterations and kind of making the game as good as it is for launch. So thank you for all that hard work that you're doing.
Thanks a lot, and thanks to whole QA team who was involved in this process. Thanks a lot, guys.
Exactly. Awesome. So, song time. This time we have Steel for Humans by Deloraine. So, enjoy.
Welcome back, guys. This time I'm joined by Martin Momot, our Global Community Director.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. A pleasure to have you.
I actually wanted to say that this was probably my favorite song of the soundtrack, and I couldn't ask for a better intro to this interview just because it's just so it's amazing. And I remember a funny story about the thing right before the release of The Witcher 3, where I actually heard that song before the game came out, before we published and released it, and I asked Marcin Przybyłowicz to give me an MP3, and I actually put it in my car, and I ended up driving around. Each time I drove to work, I actually had that song on repeat, and that song is not long; it's like 2 minutes, and the drive to work sometimes took me 20 hours, sometimes 40, and I listened to that on repeat. So that was that's one of the fondest memories I actually have tied to The Witcher 3 and the release and that song. So thank you very much for scheduling it, even though it wasn't really scheduled.
It wasn't intentional, but I'm glad that it happened. So do you know the official name of this song or only the unofficial one?
Steel for Humans.
Okay.
And as we call it, and so many people around the world, banana tiger.
Banana
right?
tiger, yeah.
So yeah, they're both.
Okay, good. That wasn't a trick question. So happy to have you here. So let's talk. You are a community lead, and you have been in this company for quite a while. It's been 11 years, right?
You can say I'm a dinosaur. I'm actually closing in on 12 years this January, so I'm really happy.
Congrats.
But thank you. But it's been a great place. It's been great working with all of you guys, and talking to you guys out there. It's been amazing. So yeah.
Okay, so let's start with your maybe personal connection to The Witcher. Since you started 12 years ago, were you already a part of the community for The Witcher?
I did play the game. I was, however, not invested actively, so to speak, in the Witcher community, but I had played the game before joining the company, and I enjoyed it deeply, yes.
Okay, awesome. And now you're very deep into the community,
You
obviously.
could say that, you could say that, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you've been here for the release of The Witcher 3 in 2015, and now you're here for what we could say is a re-release of The Witcher 3.
A glorious moment.
A lot changed, hasn't it? How is everything different?
I mean, what isn't different? You could ask the other way. There were just so many things that changed over the years. We grew as as a team, as a company. Just to use an example of how our team was structured back in 2015, when I was looking after the community by myself with few people helping part-time. And we were doing our communication in 4 languages, and now so many people joined our community team. Is nearly 20 people, and we communicate in 13 languages with all the players around the world. So that shows the scale, and there were so many things we wanted to do back then, and we couldn't, or we did it only to a certain extent. But now, thanks to the growth, we are able to actually provide better communication and communicate, as I said, like in more languages, for example. So that is really awesome, and yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, so did you have anything like as a dream project that you couldn't put to life back then, and you have already done, or maybe still want to do in the future? Like,
I think it's this one is an easy one. I think the soundtrack project is something that we did for one of the expansions, which was a music inspired by.
Yeah.
That was a great project to do together with Pavel. Shout out to Pavel here. But now you guys organized something that was a lot more developed when it comes to the project, to the community project, which was the soundtrack for Phantom Liberty. I know we're here to talk about The Witcher, but still, it's this
connected.
This is the project that turned out super nicely, and our whole community team worked so hard with so many people helping out from other different departments, and we're just overwhelmed by the success. Getting 8,000 entries, and now we have to go through all of that. But this is like a happy thing. So
of course.
So that is something that was first thing that came to my mind.
Also, yes. So I'm glad that we are able to do that now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so in The Witcher 3 times, like you mentioned, you've been only with a couple of people responsible for the communication for our game. And in this time you kind of became like a face of The Witcher, I think. If someone was following us back then, they know you. But with that comes also the fact that you create some memes, intentionally or not.
Yeah, the unintentional ones are always the best.
Yeah, obviously. So one of them that comes to my mind is the Soon TM, when people would be asking about the release date for, I don't know, expansion or the game, and soon TM.
Yeah.
Do you have any other examples that some fun memes that came out of your job?
I actually like that one the most, and I think I'm still being reminded about it when people use it. Even our colleagues in the office keep sending it to me sometimes. So I'm still being reminded about that one. But as far as memes, not really. However, I do have some funny stories to say that could be defined as funny moments, I guess, related to The Witcher release. For example, some of you who visited our studio or saw any studio tour videos that we have this giant statue of Geralt fighting a Moonwraith in our lobby, right? So right before the release of the game, we actually sent out a few copies to different partners, and the statue is just enormous. So
big.
Yes, actually the partners just couldn't put them through the doors, and actually one of them they had to order a crane to transport it through the window. So that was, and then they later on they sent us a video of it. So that was pretty funny. I think we were all like super amazed how actually they could that fit in there, like like through the window and not through the door. That was pretty funny. The other story I had was about the review copies that we had. Obviously, that was after the game was already made, and the task that we had was to actually. The discs came fresh from the press, fresh from the factory, and we had to check if the data is actually on the discs. So we didn't have many people, and
on all of them.
Yeah, it was like I don't remember how many it was. It was like 500 or 300 or maybe 1,000 copies. Either way, it was a lot. So what we ended up doing was we had like obviously a limited number of people, and then we ended up just setting up a couple of PlayStations and Xboxes and TVs. And just sitting in front of them and just launching the game and checking if it works. Actually, some of us had, 2 controllers, one on each lap, just launching the game, looking at both screens, checking if it works, and then okay, go next, right? So that was also pretty hilarious. Now, when you look at it from the perspective, so I think those stories are like the ones that stay with me when it comes to like the funny stuff from the past.
That's nice. You could actually say that you played The Witcher a couple hundred of times.
Yeah, well, for that one, we only had to check if the data is actually on the disc. But yeah,
it counts.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for making me feel better.
Yeah, of course. So how many hours do you have in The Witcher personally?
I think it's like 200 something. I've been really meaning to play again, but I've been, I think just like as everyone else, I was really looking forward to playing it again, but then we announced the update, right? And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna wait, and then I'm waiting. So I'm gonna play. So yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I understand. I had the same idea to wait, and we're almost there, guys.
Yep, just a couple more hours. It's like 3 hours. Yeah, exactly.
It's actually even less. I think 2.5.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
So we're getting closer. Okay. So you knew about some of the questions I'm going to ask you, and we also have some surprise questions for you.
I can imagine. I saw the previous interview. So just bring them on.
Yeah. So we asked our community on Discord to ask the most random thing that comes to their mind. So I have a few questions for you from that.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, you seem excited. So first is coming from Mazinga, and the question is, can Lambert play basketball?
I guess if he puts together some good mixtures and elixirs, maybe he will be able to. I don't know.
Oh, if he has some mixtures, elixirs, he would probably go to NBA.
Who knows? I guess that would be my answer for that one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Next one comes from Respanzal 2010. Does Roach get jealous when Geralt rides another horse?
Well, from what Marcin was saying, I think it's it's part of the grand scheme. So I don't think he does. I think he secretly supports the other Roach, and they're all happy for each other.
Yeah, we can establish that. So that's actually.
I think so. Thanks, Marcin, for making my answer but easier. Yeah.
And the last one from the Discord, asked by V. Which monster do you think tastes best?
Wow.
I would probably not try drowners or neckers.
I'd say whichever one is well done with Igni. Probably that one.
Okay.
So it depends on Geralt, how well he cooks it.
Okay. I think I would go for Griffin maybe. So probably
Griffin,
chicken.
I guess Griffin, yeah. I mean, if you want to go get fancy with it, then maybe a drowner, I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess.
So fish.
That is a nice. I gotta say, I'm really surprised by this question. But that was the purpose of it, right?
Yes,
no, I'd say whichever one is cooked the most.
Cooked with Igni.
Because
okay.
I like my stuff well done, so I would say that when it's well done, then you can probably eat it. Hopefully.
So, we're releasing the Witcher cookbook soon, so maybe you can check it in there soon.
Search for some inspiration.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so before we finish, I actually wanted to give you a shout out because I think a lot of people follow you on Twitter, and I love how you post those bits of information that people keep asking about. So thank you for that, and I think that everyone who follows you is also like getting some FAQ basically from you. So
well, I try. Now since the team got bigger, sometimes we have to check stuff with legal. It's not that easy.
I know.
Shout out to our legal team as well. Yeah, but we try to communicate. This is our job, and again, I think it's. I would like to use this opportunity to thank everyone for supporting us for all these years, because the love you've been pouring on us over all of the channels and continuous support, and whether it's online or recently, like post pandemic, we started doing events now, and we're getting to know getting to see you guys, meet you in person. This has been really amazing. So I think it's only right to say thank you for everything.
Thank you, guys. So the last question, which I have to ask, I'm sorry. Team Yen or Team Tris?
Team Yennefer.
Okay, thank you. So I think it's like 2-0.
I'm not gonna be original here.
Yeah. So right now we're gonna be doing a longer break. We're gonna have 3 songs at once. So if you guys want to grab something to drink, go to the toilet, this is the time. And we're gonna have Skellig Village, Kermoren and Ladies of the Woods by Łukasz Kapuściński from Guitars and Dragons.
And we're back after the 10 minutes break. Short, long, depends. And I have here with me Marcin Przybyłowicz, our music director. Hello.
Cześć. Hello. Nice to see you all.
I'm actually so happy to have you here because I have something super cool prepared for you and I cannot wait to see your reaction and answers to your question.
Okay.
So I hope you're ready.
Let's see.
Yeah? Okay, so we're gonna play a speed round questions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask 10, 11 questions. You have to answer as soon as you can, the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay?
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Dobra, jedziemy.
Okay, so let's start. First question. Who is better Witcher, Geralt or Vesemir?
Geralt.
Who is better companion for Geralt, Dandelion or Regis?
Dandelion.
Who do you do? Sorry, what do you do? What do you do? Looking for Ciri playing Gwent.
Ciri.
In Quest Open Sesame in Hearts of Stone, who do you pick for your crew, Quinto or Casimir Bassi?
Casimir.
Iconic Witcher free song, sing it.
Lelele, 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 lelele. That one?
Okay. I mean, that's your answer.
Did I
okay.
pass?
Yes. Better place for a good night's rest, Corvo Bianco or Kermoran?
Kermoran.
Kermoran, okay. Your favorite quest from Witcher 3?
Mystery Man.
The biggest villain of Witcher 3?
Gunther Odin.
Your favorite track from The Witcher 3?
His theme.
Okay. And if we're gonna pick Priscilla song, which version?
That's a tough one. I'm empty. Struggling between English and Polish.
Okay. And the very last one, Trisarian.
Tris.
We have, 3-2 now, so it's getting close. And I have 3 extra questions from our community. Those you can answer like slower. You know, you can give a proper, better thought answer, I guess. Who is better ice skater, Geralt or Ciri? And that question is from VJ.
How? Why? What?
I mean, you know, Skellig, all the ice, you know, mountains, snow.
But
like
ice
outside.
skating didn't end up in our game, right? So
But if you were to choose,
I would say Ciri because
Okay.
she's lighter, she's smaller, better aerodynamics, more nimble.
have you seen the Geralt's moves?
Yeah, and I read about it, but I think I'm gonna
Okay,
stick with
Siri.
Siri, yeah.
Okay. And now question from Neos Danger. Is Dandelion the king of pop?
That's a good question. Okay. Well, actually, now that I think of it, it seems like kind of a missed opportunity. We didn't even think about it, right? To actually build like Dandelion's discography, like we did with Samurai in Cyberpunk, for example. That would be fun.
That would be
That
fun.
would be fun.
And like, who would be his like bandsmate? Like,
Yeah, and he would
Geralt
be
for
like
sure.
the proper pop star of his age, right?
So
that would be fun.
Are we thinking boys band kind of like Backstreet Boys kind of way and sing, or
With all the dance moves.
yeah?
We actually did. I think that was April Fool's joke. We did Dandelion edition of The Witcher 2, right? Where he was fighting with the lute. So seems like we kind of have the moves already. So
Okay. I mean, just picture that, you know.
Yeah,
Geralt,
it would work,
Dandelion,
yeah.
Zoltan, and then Yennefer and Ciri. Maybe Triss even somewhere in the background doing like, you know.
dances, yeah, that could work as well.
I mean, we have to think about that in Polaris, maybe. Good idea. We'll see.
Let's
We'll
see what Sasko thinks about it.
Well, we have Pavel Sasko here with us, so you know maybe he can he can do some choreography on the backstage for
Note
us
to
for
self. Ditch him.
Okay, and the last question from Jim: which Witcher is the best singer?
I'm trying to, approach this seriously, not make jokes of it. So I'm trying to remember if we had, well, we did have a party at Carmoran, right, where they grabbed chicks' clothes and then made
It was hilarious.
prank phone calls, right? But did they sing in that scene? I don't remember that. But I would go Esco, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know why, I just feel it, I suppose.
So maybe we should expand on the idea of the boys band.
Yeah, like, he's a representative of like younger generation of Witchers, so maybe because of that. I
Okay.
think.
Okay. That's actually cool. And then Geralt again in the background. I mean, we have to have Geralt in that boys band.
Another idea for retarded quests. So.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Okay, but on more serious notes, we are approaching the release of the next gen update. The game is out there for 7 years, and we're coming back to it. How does it make you feel to see all that coming back home kind of way?
It's a mixture bowl of feelings because first of all I feel really proud of our offspring, as I would say, because time shows us that our game holds up, even in today's environment. After next gen update, it still looks and plays very, very nicely. So there's definitely a bit of proud emotions, bit of fun and excitement as well, because we do have a new quest line, right? In the Devil's Pit, and I've made like 17 minutes of brand new music just for that quest. So revisiting that old environment, that old storylines we did, so many years ago, and injecting new threads, among it, was kind of nostalgic for me, and I felt very nice. But at the same time, I went like absolutely sideways and furious with how stupid, in how stupid way I did things technically, right? Revisiting your old ideas from 7 years ago is something that I wouldn't help me out with the word. Życzyć.
You wouldn't wish.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish to my worst enemy. Seriously, that wasn't fun. But at least the outcome, I'm still very, very proud of what we did. I'm excited for people to actually revisit the game once again, discover new stuff we did for them, and I hope enjoyed it.
I mean, personally, I would love to see us going on a tour with like the Witcher concert. You know, I know we did one in Malukah. We did one like back in time with I think
in Kraków.
In Kraków, yeah.
Twice.
So you know, it personally like this soundtrack is one of the best soundtrack I've ever heard in a game. So you know, maybe we could do like a tour, like the Witcher tour. What do you think?
It would actually be fantastic to see The Witcher go on tour. You know, Malukah was special for me because not only we did perform The Witcher in its full glory with, you know, over 100 people on stage, with Percival, with soloists, with orchestra, choir, etc., but I also got to conduct Lullaby of Woe, which was actually my very, very first time ever I stood in front of an orchestra and actually did a thing, right? So seeing that, you know, as a like a stub of, you know, whatever can come in the future, it looks very, very tasty. Yes, I want to do more stuff like this, and you know, keep your fingers crossed. Maybe, who knows?
Definitely.
Never say never, right?
I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to help you with this. You know, I'm gonna talk with some people around.
All right.
So let's make
That's
it happen.
a deal.
Okay. So, you know, it's a next gen update night. What's your favorite thing about the next gen update? Like, is it the visuals? Is it like, you know, the technical stuff? Or maybe is it the quest itself?
Another tough one.
Or maybe everything combined together?
Well, it obviously, you know, all things put together create that, you know, new impression I'm hoping we are presenting with, to the people. I was gonna say 60 frames. So, you know, ability to experience our game in maximal, you know, fluidity. But I'm kind of on the fence with that because the game looks so much prettier after the visual updates. So, you know, it's really tough to decide, I guess.
I can understand that. I mean, there is like everything comes together. Like with the camera that, you know, you can see the beauty. Then you have the photo mode that you can have.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You can capture all those moments that you want. You know, we did release the like long video with the ambient music with, you know, nice visuals. I want to see more of that, and I hope our community also. So I hope that maybe in the future we can also do more like sceneries like this, so we can use it as you know, a chill session.
Yeah, why not?
You know, as a musician, you might actually, you know,
as a
help
next
us with
step
that.
in Netflix fireplace stuff, right?
It will be CDPR, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff. But yeah, what's your best memory of The Witcher? Or maybe what's
Our
your
launch, 2015, and seeing how the game is doing without us this time, all by its own, and seeing it's doing well. That was first time in my professional career I was exposed to so much good vibrations, emotions, so much love we have been graced with. Yeah, and there's, you know, nothing that can really tops it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember, you know, the release night. I've been in the studio, and it was so amazing to see all those people, like, you know, cheering, and some were super stressed and anxious that, you know, what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, some were like, we did it, guys, and, you know, it's out there, people love it. And I hope today, or tonight actually, because the release is in like 2 hours, it's gonna be the same. I know there's some people in the studio, so I hope they will enjoy the thing. Okay, I guess we actually ran out of the questions. Thank you very much for the speed round. I know some of the question could be tricky.
Trickier, right? That was easy.
I know.
batch.
I didn't want to, you know, put you on the fence with some of the questions.
You didn't ask me whether or not I did actually play Witcher 1. So
Because it's the Witcher 3 release
since
night.
you didn't ask me, I'm not gonna answer that, people.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to wonder.
We're gonna do the next stream about the Witcher
Next time,
1. So
yep.
next time.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Martin, for being here with us and, you know,
Thank you.
celebrating the
Enjoy.
Witcher release. And yeah, we're going to the next song, which is performed by Julia Keep, the Wolven Storm in German this time.
Sternen zu wieder in Ewigkeit verbunden. Öffne die Wunden und heil sie wieder, bis sich unsers Schicksalsverismuster bildet. Am Morgen fließt du aus meinen Träumen, bittere Stachelbeere süßer Flieder. Im Traum seh ich rabenschwarze Locken, deine Veilchenaugen von Tränen nass. Der Wolfsspur nach folge ich in den Schneesturm, um dein stures Herz abermals aufzuspüren, durch Zorn und Trauer in Eis verwandelt. Lass mich deine kalten Lippen küssen, schmelzen. Am Morgen fließt du aus meinen Träumen, bittere Stachelbeere süßer Flieder. Im Traum seh ich rabenschwarze Locken, deine Veilchenaugen von Tränen nass. Ich frage mich, ob du mein Schicksal bist oder ob der Zufall uns zusammenführte, als ich den letzten Wunsch hervorbrachte, wurdest du gezwungen, mich für immer zu lieben. Am Morgen fließt du aus meinen Träumen, bittere Stachelbeere süßer Flieder. Im Traum seh ich rabenschwarze Locken, deine Veilchenaugen von Tränen nass.
All right, we're back with Mikołaj Szwed, the unit, the man himself, our localization director. How are you doing?
I'm good, fine. Thank you for the invitation.
Dude, it's good to see you. I think the last time we did an interview was in Polish for Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales.
Yeah, might be.
Yeah. We just saw the Wolven Storm in German. Let's talk a little bit about that and kind of how that song has so many iterations in different languages.
Well, yeah, of course we had to prepare an iteration in every language we were localizing our game into, but like the German version holds a very special place in my heart because actually the German text for the song was written by me and my colleague Philipp Weber. So we did it together. And another interesting fact about the Wolven Storm, which was composed by our awesome Marcin, who was just there.
Just here!
Yes,
just
exactly.
Here.
So the fun fact is that the English version, the Polish version, and the German version are the only three versions where the Priscilla has both been acted and like the song has been sung by the same person. So Emma Hiddleston for English, Ania Terpiłowska for Polish, and Beate Baumgart for German.
Damn, with the shout-outs, you remember
I love all of them. It's like, you know, it's like a father who loves all his children. But yeah, German is my baby, so to say.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Localization, it's a tough job. It's localizing the game into multiple languages, but we're known for that as a studio. We're known for always, that's where we kind of started from, localization, actually bringing games to gamers in their native languages, which I think, in terms of accessibility, is like one of the most important things.
Yeah, I think so, and I'm really proud to be able to work in a company that actually puts a lot of value on localization, because it actually gives us the room to invest more time and money as well, and man and woman power to actually make those localizations excellent. And I think according to the feedback we're getting, we're doing like a pretty good job with it.
I agree. I agree. Speaking of re-releasing the thing, because
Yes.
we're getting reviews right now coming in. We're seeing streamers play the game. We're seeing first feedback from the community that are watching and are waiting at home because less than 2 hours to get the game on your platform of choice. So it's coming very, very soon. How does it feel to re-release the game in a sense after 7 years, because you worked on the original Witcher 3 Wild Hunt when it came out in 2015?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I have to say is like, I'm amazed how much love people have for this game. Even after 7 years, I have to admit I'm reading, the comments, and I've been checking the reviews that are already pouring in. So it's a great thing. Like you have this feeling that you really managed to create something that stuck with people, like is in their hearts, and people are playing it, again and again. And I really hope there will be a lot of new people who never tried the game who will experience it for the first time. Because I just want to say that one of the worst things about working in localization is that you basically know the game in and out before it's actually even playable. So like no story twists for me, unfortunately.
Spoiled.
Everything is
spoiled.
spoiled, yes. So you have to read the text, then you record them with the voice actor, so you basically, know half of the game by heart by the time it's released.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really hope that like maybe in a couple more years, I don't know, I will be hit on my head and I'll forget everything, and then I can experience the story like the people who are actually bought the game and played it for the first time.
Yeah. I wish that could happen sometimes. Like you want to experience something fresh. Like you want your memory to just get reset so you can start from the beginning and replay the whole
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, I totally get that. So with this update, we're adding 2 new localizations. So one is, yes?
Yes and no, because
Yes and no,
we're adding 2 new voiceover versions.
Yes.
Because those localizations were there in the game, but adding voiceovers is a completely different thing, because this is actually the part which requires the most work when it comes to localization, because for such a narrative-driven game, we have hundreds of actors in each language versions that are actually lending their voices to our characters. Together with expansions, like 70,000 voice files for each version.
That's a lot.
But having said that, it's actually much easier to do it on a finished game without those constant iteration and changes that are just being made where you think
cuts and edits and
rewrites of dialogues or new stuff added. So it's been fun, and like my team has been working hard on making those localization happen. So a big shout out to them. Yeah.
So we have simplified Chinese and Korean, if I'm not
mistaken.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
exactly.
And how does the process more or less look like? Like you start off with because for this one I feel like the process was different, because like you said, you're working with a finished product.
Yes.
But normally you would get like iterations of scripts for which you would have to do the localization and then adjust it on the fly once it changes due to, I don't know, cuts, changes in narration and stuff like that. But when does the process kind of move to like voice recording?
Well, we always try to do it as late as possible, but like in such a huge project where you have a lot of teams that are dependent on each other, it's always like this a game of balance, because like on one hand we're waiting for the story team to be finished, on the other hand the cinematics people are waiting for the voiceovers. So we need to always weigh all the options and make sure that like the teams who are dependent on each other actually get their assets on time, which means that, for example, we have to start maybe earlier than it would be wise to do because of those dependencies, and then we have to do updates and do pickup sessions, which this is how we call them, to fix things that have changed. And of course the process is like we first get the Polish, we need to adapt it into English, and then English to all the other languages. And having said that, Korean and Chinese had of course like this benefit of working on a finished game, and I know that our partners in China and Korea made a tremendous great work, because they did something that unfortunately no other region could actually do. So they basically recorded every single scene for the actors. So they were actually showing, the actors the scene, so they could make sure that the actors see everything, how it looks like, and they can actually act it out the best way possible. Which is something that unfortunately all of the others didn't have the chance to do so, because probably most people don't know is that like when you record voiceovers for a game, you usually record into the blank space.
Yeah. I've actually went once with you on a recording session. We were doing this for Gwent, and I remember that you have like an actor there that is doing the role, and there is also someone kind of like directing that person. So kind of what emotions should be conveyed, what it is. And I feel like voice acting is such a like incredible almost science, because it's very granular in terms of like how you can act with your voice, and like the best voice actors, they can do incredible things with their voice. So that itself is just
it's all about nuances, and as I said, like they act out into the blank. So what we have is the script. We of course work with our story writers and quest designers to actually have as much context as possible. So we have the director's comments, we have like scene comments, so like that explain what happens in the scene. We have the director on the studio side, but I think the important thing and the difference when it comes to work on localization here at CD Projekt is that there is also my team and my people. So basically we have people who are dedicated to their languages, and they're also taking part in the recordings. They know the game in and out. So basically they can help out, they co-direct basically with the studio director to make sure that like, sometimes even it's like when you have so many iterations, you don't have time to update everything. And at some point, like for example, the comments are outdated. And then like, we're there to say like, I know that the comment says this, but I know that in the game it looks differently. So let's act it out a little bit differently. So, and I think this kind of like gives this additional high bar of quality in the end product.
And then we have Boris coming in like, no, that is not Yennefer, like full of emotion and stuff like that.
Exactly, and imagine that we have like, well, maybe not, other people are not like Boris, because there's only one Boris, and maybe that's for the better, but basically we have like more people who are like that, who take part, like I take care of the German version, for example, but we have people for Spanish, for French, for Brazilian Portuguese, for Japanese. So basically, we want to make sure that every language version gets this care, the special care from us, and I hope it shows.
I think it does, and I also kind of see that since The Witcher is something that we as Poles is kind of ingrained in us, like our parents tell us about the books. I read the books in school. You probably did, of course, like multiple times in multiple languages. That everybody's always surprised that when it comes to localization, like in Polish and in English, the game is not really like translated, because you feel like translation is just like, one-to-one, it's interpreted. So you're taking the source text and you're making it its own thing in a given language, which I think kind of gives it a little bit kind of more, like more on top.
Yeah, right? And this is actually what we want to achieve in all the language versions. I even remember when I was working, closely with the German translators, and for example, I was looking for a term for guślarz, which is like something so inherently Polish, the peller actually in English, and I was looking for some like some words from pre-German Prussia, for example.
Okay.
So and stuff like that.
So digging into history.
Yeah, and finding something that's basically conveys the meaning. Like we won't find something that's one-to-one, but like we definitely want to have it this like kind of like pagan, for example, feel to it, which again, these small details are what in the end makes a difference.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we also have a new quest now in this update. It's inspired by the Netflix series. I won't spoil the story because I want everybody to experience it in a couple hours. But I heard, someone told me, I think it was your friend Philip Weber. Like I say Weber, but it's Weber. Okay, sorry, Philip, if you're watching this. He said that in the beginning, the quest wasn't supposed to have voiceover. It was
Yeah.
only supposed to be done via notes that you find in the
Yes.
mine without spoiling anything.
Yes.
So what changed in the process? Because I think it's a beautiful story.
Well, yeah, the beautiful story is that localization are usually bad guys because localization is very expensive. So, you know, they come to us and say like, oh, let's do some dialogues. We're like, that costs a lot of money. and at first it was like, okay, only notes. We say, sure, like, you know, translation easy.
Yeah.
Then it was like, you know, but it would be nice to have like some one-liners from girls, like 10 lines or 20. I was like, oh, fine, okay, whatever. And then we end up with like a 350 lines quest with several characters. So for you to enjoy. So basically, yeah, this is also like at the project thing, I think. So our ambitions, you know, grow as we work, and in the end, like the end result is actually. I even remember when we were working on The Witcher 3, and there was this constant fear. Oh my God, the game is too small. The game is too short.
Let's make it bigger.
You know, we don't have enough quests. And now when I think back, it's like so absurd. But like this is something that we were always like we're being plagued that like it's not enough. We need to add more, right?
Yeah, we always kind of strive to have a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. Is this enough? No, we need more. And then we end up in the end like maybe we actually did a little bit too much.
Yeah, at some point I just said, oh, okay, whatever, do what you think is best, and we'll just handle it. But it was of course very nice to, you know, go back and meet our girls in the studio again and have like this additional story recorded, because of course like I also miss this world and these characters, because you grow attached to the talents who you meet in the studio, and it's really nice to see them again.
Yeah, especially that we have incredible voice actors, especially for the main characters. So kudos and shout outs to them, because they do an amazing job.
That's true.
You kind of went back to The Witcher 3 and its initial launch. Any memories from that time, or any funny stories that you'd like to bring back?
Well, I remember I actually went to the release to Wrocław. I was actually invited to be one of the person that are, you know, giving interviews, and was like, oh my
Mr.
God,
MVP.
Like, yeah, I'm a VIP or something. And then like so my impression from that time is like, giving autographs is very tiring.
It is.
Like the hand like just hurts after some time. Like I don't even really know why people actually wanted my autograph, but like it was very nice. But after like 200 or 300 signatures, like, oh Jesus, just my hand hurts, right? So it was nice. But like meeting all those people and this enthusiasm and everything, it was
incredible.
Like you could
the
really
energy,
feel,
like,
you could really feel like a star. I was actually a little bit bummed that I wasn't in Warsaw, because we had this awesome event with Agnieszka Kunikowska-Jacek and Beata and Anya, so all the main stars from the Witcher, which I was actually you know, co-directing for months.
Incredible.
But still, in Wrocław, it was also great to meet all the fans and get their energy. And
Speaking of the game, do you have a favorite quest or favorite storyline or something that you enjoyed yourself the most?
I think like there's a lot, but I think I feel it's like this kind of perfect quest, because like from the production point of view, it's one quest. It's like when you, spoiler alert, come back to Novigrad, and there's so much crammed into it. Like you wouldn't even feel like for the players, it's like 5 quests, but like you do this with Yennefer, you do this with Triss, you meet Philippa, you have other activities. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's like
there's
so
a lot
much
going on.
There's a lot of going on, and from the production point of view, it's like one single quest. And I was like, wow, it was so great to be able to tell so many interesting stories within one piece of, you know, quest, so to say. So I was really amazed by, you know, all the people who were involved and managed to do it. And it was actually the biggest quest, like production-wise, in the whole game, because, you know, I have the numbers. It was 1,300 lines.
1,300 lines. Okay, nice. I like how specific you are about
it's like those numbers are just burned in my head.
Engraved in your brain.
Yeah, it's like, you know, Witcher 3, 46,000 lines. You know, Baron Quest, 1,100 lines, and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that stays with you forever. Like you wake up at night, someone wakes you up, like, how many lines?
Actually, this happens sometimes, like when the board members are preparing some material for investors, like, how many lines are in Cyberpunk? How many lines were there in The Witcher? It's like, I was like, This one. How many languages are we localizing into?
This
how
many,
many? Yeah,
yeah.
and it's like I just have it in my, you know.
You gotta have that on top
Yeah.
of your head all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Quick 2 questions: Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine? Because there's always like 2 people, like, either this one or that one.
It's difficult. Like, I feel, you know, I did my best performance as a, you know, localizer on Blood and Wine, but the quest with Iris in Hearts of Stone is just so, you know.
It's a lot of emotion in one quest.
Yeah, I love the emotional quests, really.
Yeah,
but
there's
the
a lot
ending,
to unpack there.
But the ending, like I remember the ending. Spoilers again. But the ending of Blood and Wine, where you have this like showdown between those 2 characters when they start fighting. I feel
It's one of those epic moments.
Yeah, and I feel like, oh, I even have goosebumps like when I think about it, because I think this scene is like great, especially the bad version of it, because it's nice. It's nice. I'm really proud what we achieved there.
Perfect. I'm also I'm a Blood and Wine enjoyer 100%. It's like one of my favorite ones, but I am very attached to Regis as a character from the books. And then when I saw him brought to life, and I saw like the first concepts when I joined the studio, it was incredible. And kind of like, man, he looks amazing. His voice acting is on point, and I played him both in Polish and English. So yeah, to get to experience that was freaking amazing.
I think it was a good ending to The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And like gave this kind of like closure to the fans and to us as well.
I agree. And the last question that everybody's asking, if you had to pick a team, Triss or Yen, which team would you pick?
No, it's Yennefer all the way.
Yennefer all the way.
Yeah,
My man.
I read the books, and like
yes,
she's difficult, but life is difficult, and like relationships are about like
difficult.
you know, well, they shouldn't be the whole time.
Sailing.
Of course, yeah. It's like I think I like someone who can challenge me, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Perfect. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
And we started with the Wolven Storm, and I think we'll end with the Wolven Storm. This time the instrumental version by Hootie. So enjoy, and we'll be back with our next guest.
welcome back, guys. Now I'm here with a man who doesn't need introduction, I think. Paweł Sasko, our quest director.
Yes. Yes, it's nice to be here. I'm so pumped, actually, for the release of Witcher 3 Complete Edition.
Yes.
My teams, we have put a lot of work, actually, a lot of things that are not in the patch notes for you to discover. I'm going to be checking Reddit, forums, Twitter, for everything you find. You'll probably be taking some time before you do find everything that we did.
Ooh, okay. So no spoilers yet. Maybe some little ones soon. So I understand that you're one of the persons who actually work on Cyberpunk, but you know everything about this update.
Yes, so like daily I do work on Phantom Liberty,
Yes.
But we won't be talking about that today. But my team, actually part of my team, part of the Quest team, they together with Philip Weber and with the a few other Quest designers, they were actually working and building part of the Complete Edition. You know, they did the new quest and lots of different edits that we were not supposed to do, but we did because we are CD PROJEKT. So yes, so actually, like I was basically having a role of a sort of consultant when the team needed to remember, you know, what the hell we tried to do actually in like 2012 and why certain things are implemented like this and so on. In most cases, I remembered. Sometimes, you know, we had to dig here and there, but thankfully we have in the team actually a lot of people that worked on The Witcher 1, even, you know, Joanna Radomska. Actually, Asia was the one that was implementing the new quest together with a few other designers. But yes, we have designers, you know, that started on Witcher 1, Witcher 2, Witcher 3. So in a way, there's a lot of knowledge in the team to remember what the hell we actually tried to achieve, you know, with the quests and so on. So when there was something strange, you know, to figure out what the hell we wanted to do, I was like the memory of the team in a way to try to, like, you know, get to the bottom of things.
So basically, is this a situation when you were trying to do something in 2015 with the quest and it didn't actually end up being what you wanted to, and now you fixed it?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so it's various cases. It's various cases, but often, and it was not 2015 because 2015 we shipped it. It was 2012 and 14 mostly, and 2014 sometimes. But yes, it was basically situations when like we had something done and we didn't know why certain things didn't work as they should, and we didn't have a chance to fix it completely. So like one of the things my quest designer did Eero Varendi. Amazing guy, by the way. I'm not sure if he's watching. I hope I'm embarrassing him right now. But what Eero did is actually he just scanned the Nexus mods. And one of the things that actually our players did, they went over like The Witcher 3 over like 7 years, right? They found lots of different bugs in quests, and they made mods that fixed those bugs.
Oh, okay.
So without telling anyone, what Eero did, he actually did go over like a lot of the Nexus mods, scan things for actually bug fixes, and things that we just fucked up, simply speaking. And what Eero did, he actually went in and just fixed those, you know. And in these cases, we had to consult like why this is not working, you know, why certain things. And maybe I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but you'll find out. So like, because I saw a lot of people saying like, holy shit, you know, the script mods are not working with the Complete Edition. And yes, probably a lot of them is not working. However, a lot of them is actually included much more than we actually said in the patch notes. And by included, I mean like we actually went in and we checked, you know, what kind of issues players had and we fixed them, right? Those are not mods implemented. Those are like our native fixes. So we looked into it.
Based on the mods that
Based on the mods,
create.
yes, because we knew that the players were like, okay, this is probably broken. And sometimes player thought that something's broken, sometimes it wasn't. So it was a different, there were different cases, but we went over like a lot of stuff. And it was Eero and his motivation to just go over it. And I can mention some other thing about him, but basically he's the guy that loved Witcher 3. Like he wanted to work in the company to basically be working on our games. You know, he's one of our designers on Cyberpunk, and now he's working on Polaris project. And Eero started working in the company because of The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I think he was a modder before, right?
Yes, he was. He's actually one of many modders that I hired in my teams, and he was actually one of the modders, and he was like so hyped, sort of, to work on The Witcher 3. So he was like the best guy to actually really put on this game and be like, okay, just fucking go wild, you know? Like, do what you... And he did some stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is amazing shout out because we actually wanted to invite him, but there was like some things that prevented him from coming here. But if we could, he would be here, and so big shout out to him. Yes. Yeah. So is there some quest that you are specifically proud of, like being fixed in this update?
Oh, I mean, there's a bunch of like famous ones, of course. You know, the hunt for certain armor,
yes.
And things like that. But I think like probably the things that I'm more proud of are the things that they're quest related, obviously, but are maybe not so obvious. Like for instance, there's this certain fast travel point that we all love. So the story is, when I was building the Bloody Baron storyline, right? Because that's like one of the quests that I had a pleasure to design and implement and contribute to. You know, second part on the swamps, that's something that Joanna Radomska was working on. But the whole part of the Bloody Baron that happens there with his introduction and all that stuff with, you know, Birthlink and so on, that's something that I did. And the thing was that this fast travel point added there early would have like fuck up my quest in so many different ways that it's hard to imagine. So basically talking with like Philip and Eero, we like kind of figured out a way how to fix it without breaking my quest. And maybe I'm not gonna spoil everything how it's done.
I actually saw like some media already sharing that there is a guy just working on the
so it was spoiled
on
already.
the signpost. Yeah.
Yes, so we are always trying to do stuff in our own way, you know, and have always like a story explanation why this fucking fast travel point isn't there from the beginning, and it's like pissing you off. I know, I'm sorry for that. But we needed that to tell the proper story with the Bloody Baron storyline. So at least I hope that's a good explanation. But what we did, there is a story explanation when there's no fast travel point, and then that fast travel point appears at some point.
No,
when you need it the most.
I think this is one of the things that we've been asked like a lot under any post that we posted, like, can we get the fast travel point there? And we're like, we cannot tell you, we cannot spoil that.
The meme with like the thing that every man thinks about. Or something like that. I've definitely seen those.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm happy that we're doing that, even though like it's explained why it's not possible from the very beginning. Yeah. Okay, Pavel. So look, you didn't want to know what I had prepared for you.
Yes,
so that's really brave of you.
Yeah, I actually because Alicia asked me, hey, do you want to know what we're going to be talking about? I was like, no, let's just go live on everything. So I have no idea actually. Like I'm just.
No, I trust that you're gonna do great. So basically,
we'll see.
So it was between two things. It was either I wanted to read mean tweets to you and you would react, but we're not doing that.
I mean, I'm fine with that though. But yes, let's go.
But we're doing the other thing. So it's Google autofill. So basically, people are searching for The Witcher, Free, Geralt, Yennefer, etc. And we'll check if you are as good as Google. So
probably not. But yeah, let's see.
So basically, first question is, I started writing, is Witcher free?
Mm-hmm.
And the Google finished for me. What do you think is the first thing that Google suggested to me?
Is Witcher 3 having a romance with Tomira? That's something that I can imagine a lot of people would type.
Yeah, but maybe on Reddit. Sure. So the first question is actually, is Witcher 3 good?
Is Witcher 3 good?
So
I think like I think it's fine.
Oh, just fine.
Yeah, like because like it's funny actually, because sometimes when we talk with the community, I always tell them that I don't want to hype them about anything. So when they ask me about something, like for instance Phantom Liberty, I always say that the expansion is gonna be like so okay, or it's gonna be like so fine.
2 out of 10.
It's gonna be so okay, So I think like Witcher 3 is like. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that's the question. Cool.
Yes.
So next question is Witcher 3 worth playing?
Is Witcher 3 worth playing? I actually don't know.
No, come on, you played it.
Yeah, I played it. I quite liked it, I have to say. I mean, well, if you want to see and if you want to find out actually how it feels to romance two really powerful women in the same time, that's definitely a good teaching experience. This game.
Yes, without spoiling, don't try to get everything you can.
Yes.
Cool. Next question: is The Witcher 3 hard?
Is The Witcher 3 hard? I mean, with the complete edition, we did the full gameplay rebalance. It's basically one of the mods of our actually employees, Andrzej Kwiatkowski, Flash in the Flash. He was like long time modder and so on. So we have implemented like that mod partially because it wasn't able to implement it like completely because it had lots of changes and so on. So like, and from what I'm hearing, apparently like the hard mode right now, so like Broken Bones is, I think that's the name of it, is right now a bit more forgiving, but it's still hard. So I would say I think it is kind of hard.
So we made the game easier.
I don't think we made it. I don't think we made it easier because that's not what we do. But I think we made it more fair.
Okay.
I would say it's. I think we made it a bit more fair, you know. But it's not easier at all. Like I've seen people eaten by bears and by bears and neckers like today already. So and drowners, you know, like some of our influencers and streamers that have been playing the game. Yeah, I've seen struggle.
That's good. That's good. Well, I mean, life's not easy. The Witcher cannot be that
but
easy.
But what's easier for sure is the fact that you don't have glass bones anymore, you know, and you can jump.
You can jump, right?
You can jump actually, and you don't break your bones and spine. So it's an interesting improvement.
But that wasn't that a feature?
Well, it definitely makes the game easier. So
cool. So the
game
is getting easier now. Cool. Next one. Is The Witcher 3 open world?
Is The Witcher 3 open world? I mean, that is probably one of the trickiest from all of them. I think it's quite open when you think about it.
It is.
Yes, I think it is quite open world when you think about it, considering all of the things we can measure it for. So.
Yeah, please keep in mind that these are questions that people are asking most often. So
that's interesting, you know, to ask Google actually, I think like this. I would expect more Tomira questions though, but okay.
Oh, sorry. Next time I'm gonna do is Tomira, and we'll see. We'll see what comes up. So the last thing from Is The Witcher 3, it's Is The Witcher 3 60 FPS on PS5?
Yes.
After
so the
this
answer,
update.
So the answer is yes, actually, and it's battery smooth. And those are not my words. You can don't have it take me for the word, but our like the influencers, YouTubers, and journalists who played it actually said that it is quite awesome. Okay. Actually, on performance mode, it's running on really stable 60 FPS.
Oh yes, I tried it and it's smooth, so nice. So now we're getting into Is Geralt.
Is Geralt? Okay.
So the first one that comes up is Geralt the strongest Witcher?
Is Geralt the strongest Witcher?
Tricky.
I mean, well, Leto is pretty out there as well, right? Like I think when you think about that, the power ranking, you know, probably Vesemir is the wisest one. Not widest. That's exactly. That's not exactly what I mean. Yes, the wisest one. What I think Eska would be the ugliest one. So. Lambert is the goat one, I think. So, you know, we probably know the story about Lambert's goat. I think, you know, Geralt is a good combination of agility, strength, and knowledge, I would say.
So he's out there in the rank, in like top 10.
Yeah, I think
at least.
Considering we have like 5 Witchers, then he would definitely fit into like top 10, I think.
Okay,
easily,
with 10 Witchers left, that's true.
Yeah.
Is Geralt in love with Yennefer?
Is Geralt in love with Yennefer? Funnily enough, so for The Witcher 3, I worked on The Last Wish.
I actually talked with Martin about that. So yeah, The Last Wish, tell us about it.
Yeah, so that is the quest that I really wanted to make for The Witcher 3, because I felt that we need a proper continuation or maybe conclusion to their love storyline. And basically, like, I have studied really hard, like the lore material and everything to make sure I really give it justice. And this, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's lots of things happening in that quest, and in a way, as a player, you can decide if that's true or not. For me, Yes, maybe I'll keep it for later. But for me, it's Shani, who's Geralt's love.
Okay. So for
we will talk about it later, maybe, because there's a lot of story connected with that. But as a player, you can answer that question basically in the last wish.
Yes, that's true. But for you, as a creator of the quest and also as a player, what's the ending that you would choose in this quest?
Yennefer?
Yes.
Oh God, I would probably want to kiss her, so I'd probably say yes, that I love her.
Just to kiss her?
Yeah, I don't know. But probably. That's probably what I would say. But it would be definitely torn. I would be definitely torn. Yes.
I mean, it depends. Like, if you are certain that you're like Team Tris, you won't have an issue with telling her sorry and bye. But if you're Team Yen,
but if you're Team Shani, then maybe you don't have.
Yeah,
that
then it's tricky. Then you just kiss around. Okay, next one, which is really interesting. Is Geralt ugly in the books? So, looking at him in the game and what he is described of as in the books, what do you think?
Oh God. Okay, so lore-wise, he's fucking ugly. Like seriously, lore-wise, he's ugly as shit. Like I remember The Witcher 1, like sort of a figurine of Geralt. I don't know if you ever saw it. Maybe you remember. There's this. It's called like, I think if you Google that, it's called like low budget Geralt or low budget Witcher.
Oh my God.
He looks like his face is made out of soap. It's like that figurine is from like 2007.
And this is lore friendly.
Yeah, so that is the version. I've seen it always on like some pictures and so on of like old, Witcher 1 like promotion materials and stuff. So I think this Geralt was kind of accurate, And then I think with Witcher with Witcher 1 he's sort of close to being this ugly Geralt, especially after the potions and mixtures and elixirs. But then towards Witcher 2. And then Witcher 3, he sort of started becoming like a Chad Geralt.
He's getting a glow up.
Yeah, he's getting a glow up. Yeah, the Witcher 2 Geralt is quite handsome, the youngest, I think, of all of them. So the Witcher 1 is the ugliest. The Witcher 2 is like the youngest, and I would say, and he's like the most smooth. And then the Witcher 3 one is like the dad Geralt, is the beard comes in, So yes, just different iterations of Geralt.
Yes. How about coming to Ciri?
Okay.
Is Ciri a Witcher?
Oh wow, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. So like lore-wise, we know that Ciri didn't undergo the mutations.
Yes, of course.
However, she has went through all the training, or part of the training at least, and she's enhanced, but in different ways, right? Because she can reach the source.
She has the powers.
And has the powers, right? And she can do wild shit. Like we saw it in The Witcher 3. I'm not going to spoil it, but of course, she does like fight, the Wild Hunt generals, during Battle of Cormoran, for instance. So we know that she can do incredible stuff, and she's trained on that. So it basically boils down to the question of like, is definition of The Witcher defined by mutation or by the training really and capabilities? And I'm willing to say yes, that she actually is a Witcher, considering, what she can do and the fact that she's trained. But, I would say that it's a very academic discussion and splitting hair in here.
But I would agree with you. Like, I would count her as a Witcher. Yeah. So, connected to that, is Ciri stronger than Geralt?
Oh. Oh, God. Is Ciri stronger than Geralt? Well, okay. So, Geralt is older. I think in Witcher 3 he's 109 years old, as far as I remember, from when we were working on the game. So naturally, he has like much more like life experience. So in that way, he's just wiser and just experienced more and trained more. However, Ciri can fucking teleport around. It's like, and she's really fast and quick, and she can sword fight pretty well. So that would be a pretty difficult question. I think like when it comes to like agility itself and like this, I think she could have beat Geralt in that way. But when it comes to the raw strength and muscles, I think Geralt would probably win.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Witcher knowledge, he's probably taking that one as well. However, if we of course step on the field of magic and everything connected to that, she's of course much better because she's been trained, right, by Yennefer. So she can do much more than
So
Geralt.
if we give them like the Witcher World Triathlon, there's gonna be probably like a tie or something.
Yeah, but it could be exactly. Geralt will be much worse in one thing, but much better in another. So, yeah.
Okay, so I think you know almost as much as Google does.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That were really good questions, answers. Sorry. So wrapping this up slowly, what are you most excited for in the update?
What I'm the most excited for? I mean, for sure, I'm excited for the things that we didn't say that we did, and for the things that I know players will take time to find. And I'm going to be tracking like forums, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, to see basically what they found. There's actually much more that we did. I don't want to make it sound that those are like really major things. They're not. There's like lots of quality of life improvements and small things, really. But I think some of them are very cute. And I hope you will find out what I mean soon. So this is what I'm the most hyped about. It's the same as with, every time after each like Cyberpunk patch, it's the same here, like looking at the hunt of the players, just basically digging things out and asking themselves like, is it new? Or was it always like that?
They're so quick in finding that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
But it's really fun because last time we've been doing the anniversary streams and I think with Philip I was talking that there is one secret that hasn't been discovered. Like one day later, the secret has been discovered with like Vivienne dying in Skellig, after a year or a few years of game time. So we said, okay, this is the last secret left. Our community found it, so now we added more.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's a bit more things to find. Those are not always secrets, but just sometimes those are improvements or small edits or additions. Things that I think people will discover in time.
So we're gonna be watching Reddit and forums, internet, YouTube to see how quick you can find them, guys. And thank you for joining me, Pavel, but it's not the end for you. Amelia will join you in a second. But let's head to our musical break in the meantime. So we have a new song, Sword of Destiny, from Gillian Aversa.
back after the short break again with Paweł Sasko. I have some interesting questions prepared for you from our community at the Witcher Discord server.
Previous questions like set the bar quite high. Yes, okay, let's go.
I would say we left the best for the, for the end.
Okay.
But you can go with those answers. Like, don't hold back, okay?
Don't hold back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm a right person to hear that words, but okay.
I'm pretty sure you are. Like I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so you ready for sure?
No, but let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so first question is from Sarago. Does Radovid have a skincare routine or makeup tutorial he's using?
Radovid, I mean, considering like the times that he's living at, I would imagine so. Like just come to some kind of a algae combined with some soil and so on. Considering that he has this like baby-looking face, so. I would think so, and the cut, the beard that he has. It's actually a funny story that always when we talk with our character artists, our art director, Paweł Milniczuk, who was also a character lead for the Witcher 3, the original one, he always paid a lot of attention to complexion, and how the skin looks like. Because we are sort of... I would say before Witcher games, we were sort of used that in games everyone looks beautiful. They always look like models,
Yeah.
And sort of more we worked on, The Witcher, Cyberpunk as well. We tried to make people look ugly, make them really have the bad complexion, freckles, spots and kinds of shit, all kinds of scars and stuff. And I think the guys got especially on The Witcher 3, because there already the textures in the face were good enough to actually see it. I think on Cyberpunk we even went further, but on the Witcher 3 you could have all of those really bad looking sicknesses and shit, so those people look really horrible. So because of that, the question of Radovid is absolutely justified, because he's this baby face and a perfect complexion. So yeah, I get from where Sarah's coming from. I absolutely agree.
I think he just had super friendly herbalists, so they could help him with all that.
Maybe Tomira is the one.
Exactly, friend Tamira, she cannot be friends with everyone, especially in Novigrad and Skellig, traveling, all around the world. So that could be difficult. So I guess that why she, she's friends with Radovid.
Sure.
Hopefully he's paying her well.
For
that
sure.
has to be costing.
For sure, yes.
Okay, next.
She spends all that money on leggings, I'm sure. Anyway, let's move on from Tomira, maybe.
We will get back to that.
Yes.
Okay, next question from Zarak. Does Geralt have a Gwent problem?
Does Geralt have a Gwent problem? I mean, I guess, so Witcher 3 is an RPG, right? So it depends on you as a player, If you have a Gwent problem, then your Geralt definitely does, Geralt loves playing everyone for everything. And it was actually, we've been doing so many jokes, during development of the game and so on, regarding actual, Gwent and, implanting those, sequences and so on with Gwent naturally, in that game. I remember when I was working on a wedding quest, so that's Heart of Stone, first expansion, it's a third quest or so. That's the quest I designed and implemented, and I had a lot of fun with that. But anyway, there is a moment there when actually you are on a wedding, right, and you approach those halflings there, the gnomes there, playing Gwent there, that if you lose, you can win certain piece of equipment, attire that you can wear in obviously most important and serious moments, which I hope every one of you does, because this is why I added it for. So yes, I think Geralt probably does have a Gwent problem.
I mean,
he plays it everywhere.
Yeah, you're on a quest, go find Ciri, and then, a round of Gwent here and there,
Yeah. He's sure that Ciri, she can handle herself, she was running away from Wild Hunt for so long. I think she's fine. They won't catch her anyway, one round here and there.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. I mean, yes. Man has to earn a coin, right?
Yes.
But wouldn't that be like a gambling problem?
Yes, probably a gambling problem. That's a good.
Yeah, maybe let's let's not leave Geralt there. Maybe we should get back him on the track, you know. Geralt, find Ciri, for God's sake. Yes. Okay, next one. From Neos Danger, once again.
Okay.
Why does saying Emperor Emer var Emeris sound so good?
Oof.
Or
You know,
does
like,
it?
you know, I think like, and it always applies to writing. You know, like I've been writing poetry, you know, since I was like as a kid. I won like an actual poetry contest. I wrote an erotic when I was 15. Don't ask me, but you know, my the woman that was running it, she loved it. But anyway, the words basically when you write, they have a certain tempo and certain rhythm to them. And I think this is the reason, you know, like Andrzej Sapkowski is, of course, an absolute master when it comes to that. You know, like his names are absolute like tongue twisters. The things that he put into the books. So of course, you know, we have used that, and you know, the flame dancing on the graves of defeated enemies. I believe that's the proper translation of Var Emrai's full name and title. Is something very satisfying. It sounds so proud, so grand in a way, you know. And the words, like I'm a believer that the words have power, you know. So if you name something in a proper way, it in a way becomes like that, and you sort of start thinking like this. That's why we always like name our things. Like it's actually an interesting story that when we as a quest designers, but also like when we work with writers and so on that, we always make sure that even those background characters, they have names because they make them actual real people in a way, you know. Like that's why like if you walk around Cyberpunk, for instance, and you scan people, they get the names depending on their ethnicity and so on, and gender and so on. So because the names in a way they create, you know, they have a power to create, to make something happen. So I think that's why it actually sounds well, you know. It's a combination of those factors.
And what's your favorite name in the Witcher universe? We can like, you know, go to like
Emer var Emreis is amazing though. But what is my favorite one? Huh. I mean, I think Emer is out there for sure. Like, I mean, Vorhis is also is also great. I forgot his second part of his title.
Our chat can definitely remind us.
Our chat will know. Vorhis for sure is great. And by some reason I like the Nilfgaardian ones because they have this Dutch feel to them, you know, and sound to them. But yeah, I think Emhyr and Vorhis are amazing.
I think these sound also a bit German.
Yeah. Well,
so in like, you know, power and all that. I guess Mikołaj would agree.
Probably.
Hopefully, yeah.
Probably.
My favorite name is Yennefer for sure. But
Yennefer.
she is my favorite character, so you know I'm kind of biased here. So I like everything about Yen.
Yeah, Yennefer's kind of tricky because like people who don't know the books and so on call her Jennifer. So because of that, I don't really appreciate, you know, like sometimes I hear like journalists even speak that she's Jennifer. And that just makes me, you know, crumble. So it's hard to say that Emhyr var Emreis wrong. However, probably most people give up, you know, trying to do that.
I had to practice that a few times before.
Oh, and also people call Trish.
Yeah.
With sh at the end, which is she's not. She's Triss. But yes, so all of those tricky names, they actually sometimes fall into this trap of being something completely different and unrecognizable.
Geralt is also one of them, actually.
Oh yes,
I've heard
Geralt.
many times. Geralt.
Oh yeah, Geralt the fruitcake, or Geralt the metrosexual fruitcake is I think the best iteration of this one.
So yeah, let's stay with Yennefer and stay with Geralt.
Yes.
Speaking of Geralt, this question is from Thick Ducky. If Geralt had another sign, what would it be?
Thick Ducky. Did you play Witcher 2? So, in The Witcher 2, Geralt actually had another sign. I don't remember what it was, to be honest. It was like some kind of... It was like Helix, something with the time, I believe. But yes, Geralt actually had another sign. So, in a way, we have already answered that question. So, my friend Thick Duck, you need to play Witcher 2 to find out.
But if we were like to create another one...
Oh, if we would create another one.
I mean, you guys are like super creative with, you know, with all our games. So I'm pretty sure you would come up with something.
Oh shit! Like, I mean, for sure. Like, so there's I have lots of ideas right now. Most of them I shouldn't talk about, but most of them I shouldn't talk about really. I think like more I think about, but no. But for instance, like like one of the signs that turns off or disables or of the candles in the game. I think that would be perfect one. Without approaching them, because I know Igni can do it, but yes,
Mass
but
ignition.
the one that you just walk into Novigrad and you just turn off all of them.
I mean,
the funny story with that is actually like I hope you guys played the one with the Borsodis. So this is the Hearts of Stone. Obviously, do you remember like the safe? So there's this joke actually that we did. The quest designer of that quest is Danish Markiewicz. Danish is an expert quest designer in my team, and when we were actually reviewing together that quest with Danish, I remember I mentioned like a stupid idea. I was like, Danish, it's like everyone's like really busting our ass for the fact that it's so fucking hard to loot those chests because all of those candles are actually nearby. So what if, and because of that, the chests are unlootable. So what if we will make it in a way that the most secured safe is actually the one with lots of fucking candles, right? So there is this moment when they actually stand in the front of it and Geralt goes like, wait, turns off all of the candles and then they proceed. So this is from where it come from. I know a lot of players realized it was a very self-referential joke, I would say.
That's so evil. That's really evil from you guys. But like, I get that. I mean, the treasure has to be protected, and fire is a great protection.
Yes,
so.
I would say another sign that comes to my mind is the one that disables or the question mark.
I mean, we have the filter on the map now.
Yes,
so
in a way we have done it, right? In complete edition, you can just go in and disable those question marks if you find them annoying. So yes, that would be the one.
Maybe we could do. This actually comes from one of the games I play quite often. What about if we could give a Geralt a sign that shapes everything in frogs or something like that?
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember. Actually, that brings a memory. Actually, I remember that when we were working on a Witcher 3 at some point, and we were working actually on the first like opening scene when you go into the Novigrad and basically there's the scene with a burning and so on. Don't want to say more. But I remember we had an idea that there would be a rain and so on, and one of our QA people who's actually right now still working in our studio, he's right now a lead of our gameplay team, Filip Dovnar. I remember Filip, he just started like recently, and he talked to me on Slack when we were discussing, and he said like I think it would be amazing if there would be like a spell of like rainfall of frogs, at that time, and I tried to get to like exactly what he means by that. We had a funny chat, and because they very often like actually from ideas like that, things come from, and they are sometimes very good. Actually, like the frying pan quest, for instance, at the very beginning of The Witcher, it came out from a joke that actually we had together with Denis Zotebir. Denis, by the way, is a design director now on The Witcher 1. So yes, but with Dennis we were just joking around, and basically, and that quest came up from a joke. So either way, like I liked really that suggestion from Philip, and we joked around and so on. We didn't end up doing that. Didn't really fit. But that's that's what I think when I hear about the spell turning people into frogs.
We need to come back to that, like in the future. Yeah. People frogs.
People frogs sounds interesting. In the Witcher 1, as far as I remember, you had Vodianoi, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they were kind of there. They were kind of there.
We're getting there.
Yes, people frogs, and who knows, when that remake hits.
We had the giant frog in Hearts of Stone.
Yes, that's true, actually. We had a prince that was like fucking difficult as hell. At the release, I remember like so many people were just getting killed by that frog constantly. Like I remember reviewing because I was a lead quest designer on The Witcher 3, so I had to like review all of the quests, and I remember getting killed by that frog constantly. Like I couldn't go through that like to review the rest of the quest because it was so difficult. We ended up shipping the expansion with a much less difficult frog, and it was still insane. And we had to nerf him in like I think one of the first patches that we released for Hearts of Stone. We had to nerf him even more because it was too much.
It was difficult. I remember. I was still in tech support by then, and we were playing the game to get to know the quests, all possibilities, and
I remember I was wearing a lot.
yeah.
Like I couldn't get my head around. I couldn't kill it, and
Yeah.
I actually asked my friend to come over to help me so I could move on. So I was super grateful that we actually nerfed it a bit, so I could, you know, in my personal playthrough, I could kill it without any issues. But yeah, let's leave the people, frogs, like somewhere there. Let's park it, this idea.
Yes.
And let's get back to the Witchers, actually.
The Witchers.
Yes. I have a question from Dusty, the TP headman. Does Vesemir like funny hats because he was once a pirate? Was he a pirate?
Does Vesemir like funny hats because he was once a pirate? This is a very complex question that I need to dissect a bit. So, first of all, like we of course, you know, it was actually Dennis. It's so funny. Dennis Zotibir, my close friend, you know, our quest designer, now design director in Witcher 1. He was actually the one that was implementing that quest, and I remember he had this idea for a joke of like, you know what? I actually wanted to do this thing that Lambert, you know, like making fun out of Vesemir. He's like, yeah, let's pick that hat, you know, and be the investigator now, and be the Vesemir. I'm not sure if he likes the hats though. I've never seen really Vesemir in a hat. I don't think I did. But you know what? Apparently they do. Lore-wise, it's canon. You know, nowadays that Vesemir liked. Because it's past already. I'm not going to mention why, but yes, he used to like hats.
Maybe he had a secret closet with all the hats.
Yeah.
Maybe we just don't know the second life of Vesemir.
Maybe we don't. Yes, exactly. And going to the second life, so I think maybe this is where he became the pirate, because I really, yeah, I really don't remember the lore information about him being a pirate. But maybe definitely I need to badly educate myself and read the books once again in search of this information.
Okay, so next question from our moderator Delight. Is Roach really a super horse?
Is Roach really a super horse? I mean, is there even a question? Well, I mean, you know,
She
Roach
gets on the roof.
Yeah, she can do so many things. She can do so many things. She teleports around, you know. She travels with you when you're in boat, you know. I mean, come on. She definitely can do a lot of things. Like, when we were actually developing, you know, Roach, we had like so many discussions about like, okay, if you're getting on boat, how the hell you transport that horse with you, you know? And there was like even a concept art. I remember talking to Pavel Milnichuk at the time, and they were actually concepting like a ship with like sort of a tent structure in a center, because like, you know, in the past actually like ships were capable of transporting horses. So that wasn't like something new, but our ship was kind of small, right? So we didn't know how to do that. There was an idea that maybe put like that tent there and just have her transport with Geralt to sort of explain how the hell she got, you know, for instance, on Skellig. When I was working actually on the first quest, so the Bran's funeral, the moment when you land for the first time on Skellig, that's something that I worked on, and I remember like. You know, regarding the ship that I used, we were like talking with directors and so on, with Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz and so on, regarding the fact that, okay, we need to, for the first time, use a ship that in a way will explain how the hell Roach for the first time arrived to Skellig, so that later players can understand that when I call her, she actually kind of arrived with us. So that it would work. You know, it's a narrative attempt to explain gameplay mechanics. It's my life, basically. But when it comes to Roach, Ero, that I mentioned already, actually we did some really cool things, or actually he did so many cool things around Roach. Those are like small improvements, actually in a complete edition. And maybe I'll just leave most of them to discover for you guys and see. There is like I think one thing that already media kind of mentioned, the fact that now you can go backwards actually with Roach, and it's actually much easier now to ride like a horse in our game. But there are also some other small things that we have done, especially around her behavior, to just make it nicer. You know, those are not like gigantic changes, because you know, again, we are talking about the free patch, free update, right, for the game. So we couldn't like redo the whole horse, because that's like one of the most expensive features that we probably have in the whole Witcher. But we did like actually some quality of life improvements and actually some behavioral changes for her, so that she feels slightly better, slightly more horsey, I would say. But what that is, I will leave our players to discover.
Are you trying to tell me she will not get on the roof anymore?
That's not what I'm trying to say. She probably will at some point. However, frankly, I've never had her on a roof, actually, to be honest, and that bug never happened to me. Maybe during the production, I don't remember, but post-production, never really. So definitely her on the horse is more of a meme, I think, than actual issue.
It's
but
not a bug.
It's and it's not a bug, yes. Sure.
It's a feature. It's, you know, secret powers. I mean, we are
powers.
talking about Witcher. We are talking about Sorceress, Ciri going through portals, right? Geralt with signs. We have to leave something to Roach.
Yes.
That's her superpower.
Sure.
So, I, you know, she is so super horse. Let's leave it there. Yeah, one more question from Neos.
Ooh.
What diet plan would you recommend if I wanted to have a body like Geralt?
Well, diet plan. Okay, well, you know.
Chicken sandwiches.
Pierogi. Considering, like, looking at our game, definitely chicken sandwiches, pierogi, a lot of raw meat.
Sausages.
Yes, sausages. So Geralt is a Witcher. Like, he is very, like, especially like in the books, because like in our games, he's more of a Chad than actual than how he was in the books. In the books, he was just much more like, I would say, slim. I don't know if you remember like the opening CGI for The Witcher 1. There's this moment when Geralt faces Striga, and I think he's there with a bare chest, and you can actually see how like slender he is. He's a fucking skeleton covered with some muscles, and that's it. He looks like an actual, like, I would say, triathlonist or someone like just really very agile, like built for endurance rather for strength. So definitely diet that helps out with that. You know, a lot of grass,
muscles.
Yeah, muscles, a lot of training. You know, not that much sleeping. You know, a lot of questing, I would say. That's definitely something, some Gwent.
Monster hunters. Monster hunts.
Oh, monster hunts, yes. I
Yeah.
thought that you're saying that he has on the diet monster hunters, and I was like...
No, like monster hunts, you know, it gives you that extra training, you know, biceps and all that.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Swords are heavy.
Yeah, swords are heavy,
Yeah.
actually, especially two of them. With all the equipment that Geralt has, that is definitely a good training, you know?
Yes.
But definitely...
So it's not really a diet.
Yeah, but definitely if you're looking for a body like Geralt, you need to go for like keto diet, I would say. By the way, I'm a psychologist, not a dietist, so this is not an advice by any means of a stretch of imagination. But I think keto diet with like, you know, some hardcore, you know, bread and water, maybe a diet together with that, that's what I would recommend.
Okay. So, you know, you guys now know what you should eat or maybe not eat when it comes to body shape as Geralt. Okay, so what is the Dandelion's favorite book? And that's from John.
What is Dandelion's favorite book? And that's from John. Well, I mean, knowing him. So, knowing Dandelion...
I mean, it's past midnight, so we can answer that.
Oh, right? Yeah. Okay. It's family friendly already. That's nice. That's not family friendly anymore. Well, I mean, I think he reads a lot of questionable stuff, I would say, you know, things that are on definitely forbidden books list. So this is definitely what I would look for an inspiration for Dandelion. For sure, like an old masters, you know, some poetry, you know, some erotics for sure. There, you know, some old poems. That's definitely something that he would like.
He's poet himself, so he probably...
Yes, exactly. But definitely, he does not like the poems of his, competitors. That's not what he likes. So this is not where you should look for when you're thinking about the book for Dandelion.
I would guess his favorite book, or books even, are his own.
That's probably what it is, actually.
It's probably what it is, yeah.
Considering, you know, like Dandelion is a bit egocentric, even though he's actually like an amazing friend, you know? Like when we've been working on Witcher 3, we really wanted to make sure that the Dandelion as a character that we are going to create, he's not going to be a clown. That he's not going to be fucking annoying with like his comments and just, he needs to be an actual friend that is sometimes very useful. That's why in The Witcher 3 he actually has a bunch of quests when, you know, he's actually very useful and helpful. Like I had a pleasure to work on the quest on The Witcher 3 in Novigrad when you're actually going to meet lots of his different girlfriends, you know.
Crimson Avenger.
Yeah, and I remember actually, like, I went through all of the lore and so on, you know, so that's why, you know, certain characters coming back there in that quest as well. And, you know, but I wanted to give Dandelion a proper, like, love interest, because I wanted to get him out of this, like, interpretation frame that kind of he was at, of being a clown and a player, sort of using, you know, contemporary language. So I really wanted to get him out from that, to give him a bit of a serious nature, so that his playful nature would be even more impactful, you know? Yeah. When he jokes around and stuff, then it will be even more impactful, because when he's a clown all the time, it's too much. Yeah. So that's why, you know, you have Priscilla, you know, and so on. I'm not going to spoil everything regarding this. But together with Ola Motyka, who wrote actually the Wolven Storm song, and with Igor Sarzyński, we actually did together the, you know, the song of Priscilla in the Kingfisher Inn. And that's something that I was so proud of. You know, Marcin Przybyłowicz did the composition for it, of course. You know, we worked so hard actually to make that thing really slap. And I think it did at the end. Like, I remember at the very beginning, and I wrote that story in, like, I think it was 2013 when I wrote that screenplay for that quest. And I remember when we were discussing it with our directors and stuff, and they were like, Pavel, this is like such a fucking expensive asset. Like, how are we supposed to justify this? And I was like, you know, it's gonna be fine. You know, let's try it. Maybe, you know, let's do something. Like, maybe we can do it. You know, and I was kind of trying to weasel my way in. You know, and I talked to Przybyłowicz and I talked to Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz. They were like, yeah, we don't know. Maybe we can do it. You know, I'm like, no, we just need a proper finale to it. Like, right, we're telling the story of a dandelion and so on, and in a way, you know, through the character that Priscilla is in the game, we had to do that as well, right? So that's why it was so important for me to build it properly. I was so glad that actually, like, because the team on it, like Ola Motyka, who wrote the text, you know, Marcin Przybyłowicz, who wrote the music, and Igor Sarzyński, who did the scene, like, I had such a fucking dream team on that thing, really. So it was amazing, you know, to pull it off. Anyway, we are detracting too much from Dandelion, but it's in a way connected, you know. So that's why Dandelion has a bit of a more of a serious tone to him, not to be a clown all the time, just to be, you know, just to be a bit more well-rounded character.
But still, favorite book, his own.
I think so.
We stay with that. Okay.
Yes.
Now we actually have a question more related to, I would say, future. If, like, we could have witchers in current times. How many witchers does it take to replace a light bulb? And that's a question from Ace of Space 1-on-1.
Oh God, that's the worst question to be unprepared for. Okay, wait, let me think. Let me analyze it. Okay, light bulb and a witcher. Well, okay, so first of all, like, we need to have to transport the witcher to the times when the light bulbs are there. So I think we would need at least one witcher and Siri to teleport him, because she's a lady of time and space. Okay, so she gets him to the place where there is a light bulb. Now, the second thing is we need to understand and explain the concept of electricity, right? What was the mage that was the closest to fucking electricity in the game? I think it might be Keira. I mean, her power's more like illusion and anti-gravity, but I'm not really sure. Maybe Philippa? No. Like someone between Keira and Philippa. So, like, I think that wouldn't be a witcher, but we would need a mage in a way to explain as a concept of electricity. So Geralt would actually get it, you know, how to replace that light bulb, you know, so that you need to, like, turn it, screw it out, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to do it. And the rest, I think, you know, the rest would be, I think, Shani, you know, when he replaces that bulb, she would need her to tickle his feet.
Yeah.
That would be my answer.
So we need one witcher and his crew. So, like...
we can count Siri as witcher, I guess.
Okay, so 2 witchers, sorceress, and a medic.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. Medic can be useful also if Geralt doesn't, if it doesn't really go well. That's a separate topic.
That's for sure. We don't want to, you know, have dead Geralt in our current times. Yes. All right. You know, since we are past midnight, which wine is the best in the entire continent? And that's a question from Kaiser.
Which one is the
wine?
Which wine? Oh. Which wine is the best? Okay, I'm the worst person to answer this question, because I am a complete straight edge and never had alcohol in my life, actually. So I really don't know which wine is the best. Wow, very interesting question. I don't know, cider out of apples. Let's go with that. Apples from a wide orchard. Let's make it, like, really extra spicy.
Okay. Oh, you can go ahead of. Yeah.
That is my answer. The alcohol is definitely not my strong side.
Which is a good thing.
I guess.
Which is a good
I
thing.
guess it's not the worst. Yes.
And I have the very last question for today for you from Kidding Envelope.
From what? A kidding envelope. That's the
Yes.
name of a person. Okay, sure. I already wanted to answer that. Now I was really searching badly in my memory. Where the fuck we had that envelope? But okay.
Probably somewhere in the ins. But anyway, is the next gen update free?
I mean, well, I mean, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. So if you own the game, I would say so. It is actually free. It's completely free. Yes, if you own the game, it is completely free on PC and on the current gen platforms, which is cool. I think. And old gen is also coming eventually at some point in the future. We didn't announce that yet. But the
update is free.
Yes, but the update is free exactly if you have the game, and also like I mean, you can get Witcher for like literally like bag of chips nowadays. Almost like when it's on sale, is like.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's literally if you are about to get a wine, you know, you can get a Witcher instead.
There is wine in The Witcher, so
yes,
you'll be
you
satisfied.
Exactly. Yeah, I think game is really cheap nowadays, and it's on sale kind of often. I think so. It's also
even now.
Oh, it's even now on sale. Oh, yeah. So I think it's probably cheap as hell, to be honest. So, yeah, I assume we put actually much more work than the price, the current price. We would put much more work into the complete edition than actually current price of the Witcher is. So, yeah. But anyway, if you didn't play, I think it's the best time to really go back to The Witcher, especially if you have like next gen hardware or a decent PC. I think it's a fine game, as we talked about. I think it's quite fine.
Yes, I also think it's quite fine. Yes. Okay, Paweł, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
For answering all those questions from all around the world.
A pleasure, as always. And guys, I just want to say something. I hope you are going to have a fucking fantastic time with the game. Really, just go deep, like dig in, look for stuff. We have actually hit some things for you. I hope that you're going to find that new content, that you're going to find the new armors, that you're going to make a lot of fun content with that. I hope you're going to use the photo mode and really like showcase your Geralt and everything that you're actually doing in the game. I hope you're going to have an amazing Witcher Christmas.
Yes, and speaking that, leaving Paweł, to go away on his quest on The Witcher, we're gonna do a small break, the music break, with Corneline and the Wolven Storm, this time in French.
De mes songes, tu t'enfuis à songe, tu t'enfuis à l'aube, ton parfum de groseille et de lilas. Je veux sentir tes longues boucles noires et me perdre dans tes yeux mauves brillants de larmes.
And welcome back after the Paweł Sasko special, which lasted a lot of time. I remember we're behind schedule. Now I think we moved back up and we're diving into a world of production with Rio Underhill, publishing producer.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
You just flew in, right?
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I agree, but yeah, we're almost there. It's 29 minutes according to my clock when the update is actually going to be launching. So very, very soon. I already was in the meantime going through Twitch and checking out other streamers playing the game, and it looks amazing. I can't wait to get home and play after I get some sleep, of course.
Same. Thanks everyone for tuning in at this time of night. We're very happy to have you.
Yeah, actually. There was a question in the previous discussion about the Witcher sign, the one that should be added. It's heliotrope. Heliotrope is the one that Witchers used to protect themselves from like physical attacks. Yeah. So it's that I wanted to point that one out because I remember that one. That one. Yeah. Perfect. But enough about that. We're here to talk about you. So production, like and publishing and all that stuff. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of hard work. But how did your journey start with CDPR and how long has it lasted for?
So I joined CDPR in the last year of Cyberpunk. So came in, everything was full steam, and it was a really busy time, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, so we finished the launch, and then Witcher was already running in the background, and I moved over then. So it's been a few years, full speed. And yeah, great times.
Yeah. So what were you responsible for when it comes to The Witcher 3 Next Gen? What was your scope of work?
So I've been leading the production, working with some fantastically talented devs, and we've been milestone planning, just making sure that we hit all these targets and features and get everything done on time, helping everyone as best I can, and a lot of meetings.
Of course. For me, publishing is actually the moment where you have the product and you take it, and it's kind of like, it's like you see like a big ship, right? It's being constructed for a long time, and you have the moment where it actually hits water for the first time, right? And it's being sent out on its journey. How do you see it? How does it look from your perspective?
So, a publishing producer, for me, is someone that is looking after a satellite production. It's you're dealing with external studios or other partners. But it's been a little bit different for me in this role because we took ownership of The Witcher and made it in-house. So it felt like a very much traditional production for this project. Yeah, it's an interesting job. It's being a spider on the web for other studios outside the way.
Yeah. So how did the scope of work more or less look like for this release?
It was a labor of love. I think it's important to say everyone really cared about this project. It was a lot of people think with a next gen remake or remaster that it's throw some mods on and it's done. And it's incredible, especially with a game 7 years old, how much work is required to revisit that old code and to mesh it with the newer technologies that we have now. So it was really quite a lot of work, and a big shout out to our studio in Canada. We've had so many really talented people working on this, both in CD Projekt here and overseas as well. It's been a big project, bigger than I imagined it would be, I think.
I think it's just looking at it, you're taking something that came out 7 years ago, and like you said, you're trying to add new things to it and trying to combine the whole thing and make it work. That itself is like a really, really big task, right?
Yeah, it's almost like you're starting from scratch. I mean, of course, you've got the bones of the game, but to bring it up to what we have today, it's been a huge undertaking, and really interesting, I think. Yeah.
So how have you enjoyed the process of actually working with the dev team on the project?
I think it's been great. We've had such a nice mix of like old guard who worked on Witcher 3 first time round, who were absolutely fantastic to have that knowledge and able to share with the newer team members. And for me, I work a lot remotely, and it was a great opportunity to meet lots of people from many different departments. We had localization on earlier. We've had quest design. It's been great. There's just so many people at CD Projekt who have touched this game and made it better. So yeah, the team is just fantastic. I don't have enough superlatives to say about them.
Yeah, I have the same thing. Like I remember when I joined the company, it was after the release of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I remember when I met everybody, and there was so much passion, so much enthusiasm, so much like hard work that you could see was put into the game, and you could feel it because I played the game before I joined the company, so I played as a gamer, and actually experiencing it for the first time was like, wow, this is a labor of love. And then you meet the people behind it, and you're like, these are all just like passionate, like individuals who love the Witcher, they love the universe, they love games, all kinds, and it's just. Yeah. It brings it all together. It's incredible.
It really does. I think a lot of the devs that have joined more recently, they are all here because they wanted to be a part of The Witcher. And there's so much pride in working with this. Like, people are checking comments online, they're interacting with the fans, and really everybody cares so much. It's like we're custodians of this great product that came out before, and we just want to make it better than ever.
Yeah, and I think we all experience it in a different way. Like I mentioned, we experience it from the perspective of someone who played it and was like, wow, the team behind this has to be like incredible. And then you meet the people, they're like, they're even better than what you imagined. So it's like, it's even better. So, but yeah, like you mentioned, it's a labor of love, and you see the whole thing come together. And once again, like since we're doing this next gen update for the game, which is free, it feels like another release. It feels like we're re-releasing kind of the same thing, but in a more complete form.
Absolutely, yeah. People say, well, surely this is it. This is the last time. Never say never. I mean, it's...
Yeah, we're kind of talking about this off camera. Like, you feel like the production process on this has kind of been something that's been going on, and it's something that we also talked on the localization side, that there's always something that we want to add kind of more, do more, improve more. Like, I think it's like a never-ending story of trying to chase this, this golden goose egg.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree with you. We had to battle with putting too much scope into it. Week in, week out, we all wanted every feature, every request that everybody wants, and of course you have to say no at some point and draw a line. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're quite finished yet.
Okay, I'll take that. Do you have a favorite feature or mod or anything that was added in this next gen version that you would say it's your number one thing?
I mean, it's so hard to say. I will say this: Pavel absolutely stole my crow's perch answer earlier, because I'm so happy that's in the game. And
that is one of the first things I think most of the journalists noticed when we were doing a hands-on session here in the studio. Like, they came up to me as like, that wasn't there, and I actually saw someone building the sign, and I remember playing the game back in 2015. I'm like, no, nobody was building that sign. That wasn't there. Like, but that is kind of the fast travel point you were missing, because you had to do it before you crossed the little bridge, and then you had to go all the way around. It was always like, oh my God, this is such a chore.
It was tricky to get it in, but we're really glad we did. And I think in terms of like a favorite, it's like trying to pick a favorite child. We've been there for every single feature that's come in, every improvement that is brought in, every addition to the inspiration from the modders as well, the great modding community. It's really tough. I just think as has been said before on the stream, that everything really comes together so wonderfully.
Yeah.
And there is so many more balancing quality of life improvements, things we really haven't spoken about, that is there to be dug into and enjoyed and discovered. There is a lot.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. Like, go to the options menu, check out all the possibilities that you have, because there's things that you can toggle on and off. You can like hide the mini map and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool things that you can do, apart from also alternative looks for some of the characters and stuff like that. There's just a lot of stuff going on.
I think another great one, which a lot of people are going to enjoy, is our superhuman Geralt can now survive falls of longer than 2 meters.
Yes, that is a much needed quality of life improvement.
Yeah, I think so. We've put so many balancing changes in and tiny little tweaks, quests and everything. It's people are going to have a lot of fun.
Awesome, awesome. Do you have a favorite quest in The Witcher 3 or in the expansions or any, I don't know, anything that kind of, when you think The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, it's like, yeah, that's my thing.
So I think it's maybe not everyone's first choice, but No Place Like Home.
Oh, that's
because
a good one.
it's just so different and well-needed brevity and levity, and I think it was just so unique and original, and it makes me smile just thinking of it.
Nice, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Do you have a favorite expansion, Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine? Like, which one you're more drawn to?
Again, this is a difficult question, as some of the other guys said earlier as well. But because you're right, people are in one camp or the other. But I think Hearts of Stone had fantastic story, but Blood and Wine for me, it could have been a standalone game. It was.
I totally agree.
Fantastic. So for me, I think I'd have to go Blood and Wine.
Blood and Wine. Same for me. Although, like you mentioned, the story in Hearts of Stone. It's just incredible, and I think it also has, when it comes to like Slavic culture and stuff like that, it also like hits even more, and it's always something that I will find as something familiar. Also, Pavel mentioned the quest with the wedding, which I think is something that also was on a different tone than what you would expect from the game. Because that's kind of like a light-hearted moment. There's dancing, there's having fun, there are the donkey ears that he mentioned and stuff like that. And then on the other hand, you know, there is this pact that is made with Gontarodim, and it's just, I won't spoil it for those who haven't played it, because there might be people who are experiencing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for the first time.
I really hope so.
Yeah, I really also hope so, because that is kind of something that we want to happen. We want to see players come in and play the game for the first time and experience it, like, you know, in this form where it has all the bells and whistles.
Absolutely.
And it still holds ground.
It is an absolute gem of a game, and now with the increased frame rates, these beautiful visual improvements, it feels like it sits nicely in 2022, very comfortably alongside everyone else. And this is the best time for new players to jump in and really experience the love that everyone put into it first time around.
Exactly. I think we have like 17 minutes till to launch, so it's perfect timing. Yeah. I know the team that you work with is pretty much just standing by right now and is working hard in order to have this happen. I don't feel like people really know how much work goes into, you know, publishing the whole thing. It's not that easy. It's not just pressing one button. It's not like, you know, you build the spaceship and you press a button and it flies off. It's more.
It is a huge relationship building task with all of our first parties and third parties. It's knowing how your colleagues work and knowing what things to say and do at the right time. It is.
And the amount of assets you need to have for all these things.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just
versions, sizes, like everything.
Shout out to our release team for screenshots and store prices and pressing that, you know, everything in the right time at the right place. It's crazy. There is so much work.
And that's just the start of it. There's like a whole community team. There's a whole PR team. There's like production. There's like people who do graphics, like graphic designers. There's just so much going on.
Don't even get me started on builds and how many builds we have. My goodness. It's really a well-oiled machine and with so many moving parts.
Yeah, but it's really cool. Like it shows you the whole journey and the whole process, which I think is what we're here for, and we love to see it. And when actually there are nights like this one where we get to release something. It's just one of these moments where you can sit down and say like, wow, I'm really proud of this. I'm really happy that this is happening, and it feels amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great to be a part of it, and thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, of course, man. Last question, most important one that everybody has to answer here. Team Tris or Team Yen?
Yen.
Yen, wow, that was quick. We didn't even hesitate.
Yeah, Team Yen for me.
So, Yennefer wins.
Yeah.
Easy.
Never in doubt.
Ryu, thank you. Also, a trick question. Do you have anything to do with Ryu from Street Fighter?
No, but you'd be surprised. It's not the first time we've heard that.
That's the first thing that, popped to my mind, yeah.
Thanks so much for having me, man.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure. And yeah, last song before we come back with the whole host team for the outro is Ashley Serena, Lullaby of Woe. Enjoy.
Wolves asleep amidst the trees, bats all a-swaying in the breeze, but one soul lies anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and maids. For your dolly sleep has flown. Don't dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. La 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 la. Birds are silent for the night. Cows turned in as daylight dies. But one soul lies anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and raids. My dear dolly Polly, shut your eyes, lie still, lie silent, eternal prize as the witcher, brave and bold, paid in coin of gold. He'll chop and slice you, cut and dice you, eat you whole. Eat you.
Well, that is one creepy ending, and we kind of know how that Bruxa ends up and what happens to her. If you don't know, you have to play Blood and Wine, and that will pretty much answer all your questions. But this was an awesome night. This was really fun.
Wow.
I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
What are your highlights? Apart from Sasko talking for over 30 minutes.
Okay, but we cannot pick hours interviews, okay?
Yeah,
So I think for me, Marcin Blacha.
Oh yeah.
I really feel
Giga Chat in chat called out by the majority of people.
Yeah, for me, I really enjoyed the chat with Mikołaj Szwed, with the localization. This is so interesting, and it's rarely talked about, and this is a very important part of the game dev, and super interesting
Plus
what
the
they do.
voice acting on top of that, and adding new localization to the game itself is super interesting. For me, Marcin Przybyłowicz always, when he comes in with this energy. he's chill, but the kind of answers he gives, they're always like curveballs. They have a little bit of like his personality into them. So yeah, totally. But I've always been a big fan of his work, especially when I joined the company. The music that he composed is just incredible. Speaking of music, we're gonna have more stuff.
Yes.
But two things to kind of mention is the size of the update, because I know that people were asking about that. So what can we expect?
Yes, let's recap. So basically for PC, you can expect around 50 gigabytes of the update, so that's quite a chunky one. And
boy.
Yeah, and for consoles, for the next gen consoles, it's gonna be even bigger, around 70, 80 gigabytes for you. So, so you know, once we finish, just start downloading as soon as possible.
Yeah, get on it because yeah, I mean. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
10 minutes.
So let's recap also. In 10 minutes, we're going to release Xbox and PC. And when it comes to PlayStation 5, midnight local time. So if you are in GMT or to the right, basically, whole of Europe already will have the update in 10 minutes. And US will have to wait until midnight for PS5.
Yes, remember, stream the game, enjoy the game, play it, share it with friends. I recently also told my neighbors they need to play The Witcher because we all have dogs and we go outside with our dogs. So like I'm kind of evangelizing to them. Have you heard about The Witcher? Do you have a console? Like you should play it. And yeah, I highly encourage everybody to check it out because I feel like now is the time to play the game once again.
Yes.
And I'll be playing the game once again because I just love it.
But I'm actually very jealous of the people who haven't played it yet. And it's going to be their first time.
Yeah. We're kind of talking about this. It's good to actually have the possibility to erase your memory and experience it for the first time.
And definitely don't forget to stream on Twitch and let us know. So we actually will have a chance to host you on our official channel. So, you know, don't miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah, it's good. You know, you got to get those likes. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and all that stuff and all that jazz. So yeah, support your local streamer.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay, so we have 8 minutes left. We have 2 more songs for you and a trailer. And after the trailer is gonna be finished, you will be able to download the update. So we have Timeka with the Wolven Storm in Italian this time. And we have Deloraine with another song from them. So get ready.
More good stuff.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hope you had fun, as much fun as we did. It's not that late.
Yeah. Enjoy the game, have fun, and we will see you very, very soon for more Witcher cool stuff and other stuff coming from CD PROJEKT RED. But now, enjoy the game, have a good night, day, morning, wherever you are, and take care.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Se questo è destino, la via giusta qual è? Fuggi via, il sogno è già finito, quel profumo di uva e lilla, ma la notte sogno quei capelli neri, i tuoi occhi che guardavan solo me, le orme del lupo io seguirò, nella tempesta troverò il tuo cuore, diventa pietra poi se non sei con me, affronterei il gelo se mi portasse a te, fuggi via. Il sogno è già finito, quel profumo di uva e lilla, ma la notte sogno sogno è già finito, quel profumo di uva e lilla, ma la notte sogno quei capelli neri, i tuoi occhi che guardavano solo me.
Nilfgaard's crossed the Pontar in the east. Means war's coming.
War changes everything.
By order of the Hierarch, whosoever conceals a mage in their home shall burn alongside him or her.
Nilfgaard on one bank, Redania on the other, drooling over the city like dogs over a juicy bone.
We are at war, and she's in danger. You will find her and bring her to me.
She's a child of the Elder Blood.
Sinner.
I've got to find Ciri.
And if you find her, the girl will die.
Our world will burn! Burn in the eternal fire!
Why are you helping her?
Because she's a danger, a mortal one, a power that can destroy the world.
You must find her, Geralt. Before the Wild Hunt does.
I will find her, or someone who knows what happened to her. Who are you? You know who I am.
A legend cannot be killed, can it?
The Wild Hunt will be here soon. They're coming for Ciri.
Hold them back!
I've long awaited this, and you might